Hello, Summer. Uh, grab this. Beast. Come to the other channel. Paste. Uh, ooh. Hi, Holy Core. Hi, Cole. I changed the prompt. Um, I was talking with my therapist today, and they brought up this about like asking what would it take for somebody to change, like to change their mind. Um, and I think it is a really good thing to ask, actually. So I figured I'd run this at least and see how it goes. Yeah, I know exactly. I'm like, huh. Thanks for the heart, me, Holy Gore. Hi, Nova. Level 3. Yippee! I'm now in my I'm now in an IKEA chair. I can lean back in, and it makes funny noises. Do that, but hi. Could I get your age or yeah, your age and pronouns, please?
18 here.
So what would it take for you to agree with me? What do you think?
Um, I'm not necessarily like sure. I mean, I just don't like hold like T women to be women.
Yeah, why don't you?
Why don't I? Yeah,
Yeah.
because a woman is just gonna be like an adult human female that encompasses natural variation. Often here's the feminine traits, right? Let me clarify before you like try to straw man, right? So these natural variations are just gonna be like determining factor, right? These are gonna be objective, right? I hold these to be like a necessary condition. And then the feminine traits, right? I don't affirm these to be like necessary, right? So they're not going to be needed, right? So the determining factor can live without the contributing factor. God, it's going to be your argument.
So I assume you're taking the whole word woman to be prescriptive instead of descriptive.
Yeah, what is that going to entail?
That's gonna entail that like you are prescribing somebody to be a woman and not saying using woman as a word to describe what we see in the world around us.
Yeah, I don't really hold like perception to be a determining factor because perception can be deception, right?
Can be what?
Deception, right?
Huh. I wouldn't hold that as much because it is like something that
Oh,
like we can
can I ask you a reductio since you don't uphold that?
yeah, so like we use words to describe what we see around us, um not that like there's no way of saying that this is like objectively wrong if a society saw had different views of what a woman were. I there's just no
Right.
contradiction in the worldview at that point, so
Wait,
I see no
wait, no, no,
problem.
no. No, no, no. No, no, no. I'm saying I don't hold perception to be a determining factor, right? Because perception can be deceived, right? That's what I'm saying. right? So I would just like hit you with a reductio, right? Since are you holding like perception to be a determining factor of like what a woman is?
I'm holding that a society can have a different meaning of woman, that goes beyond just like the general definition of an adult human female, as well as to include
Hmm.
others who identify as a woman based on what's important to them. And this is
Yeah, that's
because,
circular.
yeah, I don't really care all too much about the semantics of what a woman is. I would hold that it makes a lot of sense to actually include these individuals within the category of women, simply because we know it results, or at least better outcomes, inside in their lives. So
What? Wait,
yeah,
so would you grant the fact that like this is just gonna be like abnormal behavior?
no,
Oh
no
no.
major medical organization would agree with you there. The DSM-5 explicitly says that being trans is not some sort of mental illness or anything like that.
It's normal within the diversity of the human species.
It's actually expected.
Oh, it's expected to crossplay as like another gender?
No, that's not what
That would
being
be a
trans is.
misunderstanding of what being trans is.
Wait. So I kind of want to like go back on your definition of a woman. You said a woman is just gonna be like one who identifies as one.
Yeah, based on what's important to them, that include many factors such as gender roles, physiology, expression, behavior, and other things like that.
Behavior.
Yeah, and it's going to be an and/or with that. So it can be any of those, or none of them even, actually. It's based off
Okay.
what an individual finds important to them.
What are the necessary conditions for a woman?
To persistently, insistently, and consistently identify as a woman, and be of age to be a
Yeah, that's
woman.
not necessary. That's extremely circular, right? That's like me asking you, why do you like pancakes? Oh yeah, I like pancakes because it's a pancake. Right? That's
Well,
extremely circular, right?
I would hold that I like pancakes not because it's something that I like, it's because it's a preference that is innate to me.
No, this is a reductio on how you're. This is a flaw in reasoning, right? I'm asking you what's a woman, and then you're saying you're technically just saying a woman is one who identifies as one, right? That's almost like that's technically saying, right? A woman is a woman. Like what? That's circular. Do you have a better definition?
Yeah, so it's yet again, I don't particularly care about the semantics of what a woman are, because there's
Wait, do
very
you not
good.
know debate ethics?
Yeah, so do you think that it matters about what the semantics are if people are getting hurt due to these semantics?
If people are getting what?
If people are being hurt due to for semantical reasons, do you think that we should just disregard these semantical reasons? Because I think we really should.
No.
Oh, so you
Why?
just
Why would I
don't.
Do you
disregard
care more
semantical?
about
Wait, hold on.
semantics than you do the lives and safety of trans people?
Yeah, because their
Wow.
perception is going to be subjective, right?
Oof.
Like what?
Um, so the clinical, like the medical community, very much upholds the idea that being trans is something that is expected within the natural variation of humans. So I would hold, like, you have a quite a big hurdle to go against, that saying that this is something that, like, we shouldn't disrespect and we shouldn't change society to reflect this. It's been completely depathologized within the ICD-11 and the DSM-5.
Okay. But like, see, this is still not like attacking my point, right? I just want to understand the necessary conditions of what a woman is. Like, do you want me to like explain to you what like necessary conditions is going to entail?
Yeah, so it's just gonna be somebody who persistently, insistently, and consistently identifies as a woman and is of age to do so.
That's not, no, that's subjective. And no, I'm going to explain to you
Yeah, I
what
don't
like,
care if it's subjective. You might not like it, but that's what I would hold to be
right.
the
So this is not going to be a
requirement.
necessary condition then.
And it's
This is
also not as
subjective.
yeah, I would actually hold that this is not something that is necessarily subjective. This is something that is going to just be, you are going to be it or you're not going to be it. Trans people don't like, this isn't a choice that they're making. This is something that they are.
Is this something that they are? Why are they that thing?
I don't know. I simply don't care why they are
You
this
don't
thing.
know why they're
It's,
that thing.
yeah, it's just part of them. It's as much as
Part
part
of
of them
them?
as
Why
their
is it part
favorite
of them?
color, the way that they, their favorite song, their favorite music. Um, it's literally a part of their innate sense of self.
Yeah, just
Yeah, what is
like okay, question.
innate?
How do you know
Yeah,
that you're a man?
Wait, so what is innate gonna entail, right? What is innate gonna entail?
How do you even know that you are a man?
How do I know that I'm a man? Yeah, because I would just say, like, I have like a, wait, would you equate like man and male to be like similar or no? Would you believe that they
They have
correspond?
correlation, but they're not the same thing.
yeah, they've
All right, yeah, I
historically
would just
had a
say a
lot of
male.
overlap. Um,
I would just say a male also has like natural variations, right? You want me to explain to you what that's gonna entail?
yeah, we agree
I
that I assume that we'd agree that males and females have different, like they have innate natural variation within them. An individual's personal identity is going to have also a huge natural variation within it, and some of that includes identifying and feeling more comfortable uh as essentially being an individual of the opposite sex. Not that they are, but they feel more comfortable being treated as such.
and the reason that I asked you that question is because if you're able to differentiate sex and gender, then you would know that you are a man because you never had dysphoria growing up, being treated as a boy and then a man in your adulthood. You never had confusion or distress over that at all. That's how you know you're a man. Trans people
Yeah.
know that we are trans and that we are the gender that we are in the same exact way. We
Yeah, I don't hold to
know who
that.
we are and who we are not from a very young age. Like the typical age for gender to develop in the brain is between the ages of 3 and 7. And we know who we
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, so that's
just the
not gonna
same
be
way
innate
that you
then.
know who you are.
Do you know what innate entails? That's not gonna be innate.
Yeah,
What?
so it's going to be inborn or natural. And it is because of the fact we have things such as twin
Yeah, so are
studies
they
to
born
show
with
that.
it?
Yeah, we do have things such as studies to show that there is potentially, I mean, there is some aspect that is genetic in nature. You can be
Yeah, but that's
genetically
not
predisposed to being trans.
right. But you said, right, that it's
Is
just
that
gonna be
not,
innate.
yeah, is that
No,
not
because
being
you're
inborn and natural to them?
no, that's a strong biological factor, right? But that's not innate.
Are
What?
biological factors like
What?
innate?
Yeah, I would hold that they
Like
No,
I
are.
don't
no, they're
understand your
not.
reasoning.
No, a
Are,
strong biological
we should
factor
just,
doesn't
I'm just going to
necessarily
give that
have
one a
to.
goog.
Wow.
That doesn't have to entail innateness. Are you real?
While I was just typing real quick, and the main reason I'm up here, mod break. We have 11 people. We should have at least 5K likes, but
Do
let's
not like
shoot
the
for 10.
live. Do not
Do
press
not
go.
like the live. Do not get us up to 15 or 20 shares. Do not keep commenting. Absolutely don't. That's my mod break. That's all. Thanks.
Um, yeah, I would hold that like things such as reflexes are innate to us because they're part of our genetics. Like these are genetically like written in our genetics for us to have these reflexes.
Right, but is that
And
innate?
yeah, this is something that's like literally, I mean, if I could not get any more, like I would not understand how something could be more innate than being written in your actual genetics.
Exactly. So how is innate sense of self going to be innate, right? And let me clarify what innate is just going to be like equated to, right? Innate is just going to like entail you're going to be born with that said thing, or it's just going to be inherent, right? It's going to be natural. Good.
Yeah, so this is just something that does develop. We know that people do naturally develop their feelings that lead to things such as gender dysphoria and their personal identity.
Right. So even if they develop that said thing, right, that's going to correspond with biology. That's not going to correspond with innateness. What? Yeah, you can argue that this is going to be a biological factor, right? It's going to be objective, but that's not going to be innate.
I don't think. Wow. Even with the definition you gave us, like a biological factor is innate.
Oh,
So,
do you have a wait? Yeah, can you prove that? Hello?
Can I prove it?
Not all biological factors are going to be innate. What?
Not all, but this one is.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you're
so how were they born with it?
Okay, so the twin studies show that there is a genetic element, and that genetic element very well could be attributed to different hormone washes within utero. So when you're still a fetus, those hormone washes, there's a different one for what determines your physical sex and phenotype, and the one that determines your brain sex and like what gender you'll end up developing as you grow up. Now, while we said they're correlated as they are, most males are men and most females are women, they're not always the same because of that difference in those two different hormone washes. So yeah, it's pretty well known that like that genetic effect is there. Um, Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, I almost made it to my point at least.
Wait, so is this that thing, right? Is this going to be purely innate, or is this going to be like a strong biological factor plus like a social aspect? What is this?
hold
There
on.
isn't much of a social aspect, at least not different from cis people. Um, but it is going to be innate. And, like most biological factors are innate. Like that's a lot of them, not most, but a lot of them are. They determine your gender, and your sex, which is different, and trans people even acknowledge that it's different. Um, so like, um, definitely depending on your definition of innate, but you kind of already gave one that it's just like natural to us, if I'm not mistaken, if that's what you said.
Yeah, no, it's just going to be inborn. It's going to be inherent, right?
Exactly. So
So
like
that doesn't
trans
necessarily.
so trans women are inherently inborn as women and or girls, and trans men are inherently and innately, one could say, born as men. Non-binary people are born as non-binary. It just takes them getting to the normal point of development where their brain is developing gender. Again, typically between the ages of 3 and 7, that this would become something they're more aware of.
Right. So if they're developing this said thing, if they're 3 to 7 years old, right, this is not going to entail innateness. What? Are you slow?
It could be that we're using.
Please, okay, sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
saying that "Are you slow" is ableist. So please don't say that again, or you will be kicked. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. Right. So this is not gonna entail innateness, right? This is gonna just
Host was trying to speak before I was, so we're gonna let him go
Yeah.
first.
So would
yeah,
it
sure
be?
thing.
It might have been that I should be saying something like as inherent, like saying inherent instead, meaning that it's like permanent or essential part of like somebody's basic nature.
Permanent.
Um, yeah, being trans is permanent as far as we're aware.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like evidence to substantiate that?
Yeah. So
Sure
individual.
do.
Yeah, so when people transition, they don't generally retransition, because it is something that's not for them. The overwhelming number of people who do go through transition, and tend to be stay transitioned in their lives as long as there's not like essentially huge external factors for them to retransition again. Um,
Yeah. So even if you use inherent, right? Inherent. Or actually, let me just. What is your definition of inherent? Go ahead.
um, Means to be like belonging or it means that it's permanent or essential as part of something's basic nature. Like it's like a good example of this would be like risk in skydiving. It's inherently dangerous to go skydiving because no matter how many backup chutes that you bring, there's a chance that they all just fail.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. So is this grounded in neurobiology?
I mean, it's
What is this grounded in?
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, the internal sense of self.
Yeah, we understand that people have an internal sense of self.
Yeah, is that grounded in neurobiology?
Yeah,
Where's this? Where's this? Because you're saying it's innate, right? So where's this like biological, objective aspect coming from, right? Where's
yeah,
this coming from? Where does this stem from?
it's going to be in your brain. Whether or not we can tell the
Yeah,
differences
so that's gonna
between
be neurobiology. Are you tracking?
yeah, so whether or not we can tell the difference is another question. I simply don't really care either if we're able to tell the difference from like a neurobiological standpoint. Mostly because our
Mm-hmm.
brains are not super like sexually dimorphic, so I wouldn't expect there to be a huge difference in the first place.
Yeah, we're talking most about the so gender is a biopsychosocial construct, and right now we're talking about the social or the psycho part of it more than the bio neuro part of it.
You're talking about what part of it?
The psychology aspect, the
Yeah.
psycho part of it
Right. So
versus
this,
the biology neurology aspect.
yeah. So where is this? Um, where does this stem from? Like, I
The
want to know the grounding for it.
the psychology?
Yeah, I want to know.
Like how we know
Well,
trans
I
I
people
want to know
mean,
the objective
exist.
grounding for it.
Yeah.
yeah, it literally is just that I mean, one piece of evidence is that gender affirming care has an extremely low rate of like quote unquote regrets when you really look into what regret means and such. Another reason is that or another thing to consider in that reason is that these people have gone to several years of therapy and multiple doctors over years in order to be able to receive this gender affirming care in a lot of cases. And they're often like way more than even knee surgery or hip surgery. They're way, I mean, way more likely to be content and happy with the results of their care.
This also isn't something that's new. Like we have evidence of people identifying as transgender going back basically as far as history records. It is something that is people consistently report, and that their earliest memories align up with this identity. People don't like this is not something that is um is unknown. We just know this at this point. It's
Okay,
almost
wait a
like how we
minute.
know that somebody's cisgender. It's just that it's throughout history we've seen people consistently identifying as cisgender, and people who
Hmm.
are cisgender consistently self-report that they are cisgender. So
Yeah,
if you're gonna try to
self-reporting.
reject the existence of transgender individuals as like well, maybe we don't know that they exist. It's going to happen for the same thing for cisgender individuals. We actually wouldn't know that cisgender individuals exist using the same foundation or the same questioning.
Yeah, so right, I wouldn't like hold these. I wouldn't hold like self-identification to be like an absolute factor, right? Because people can lie. Do you grant the fact that people can lie?
Yeah, but the big thing
They
too
have
is
no
that
reason.
They have no reason to lie.
Sorry, let me finish real quick. So sorry, host and I were talking at the same time, so I wasn't sure who was going to speak first. But yeah, nobody has a good reason to like lie about identifying as trans. Yes, Allie, they are. But anyways, so like we are a very small percentage of the population. B, we're highly oppressed, especially legally under Trump. And C, like, I mean, it goes through, for some of us who have dysphoria, there's a lot of like medical care involved with it as well. Like, nobody would choose to go through that. I have always failed to understand this quote unquote logic of like people can lie. Like Why the frick would they, at least in the USA right now?
No, it's not even like that. Like, what I'm necessarily saying, right, when I say like self identification or self ID, right, I'm saying like I could just give someone a fake name that would also be or classify as like self ID, right? But actually, I kind of want,
No,
let's
that
move off of
doesn't make
this. I kind of want
sense to
to,
me, at least.
I kind of want to like test your guys' like framework, right? So, you guys said this was like grounded in like neurobiology, right?
At least that's
I literally explained to you that it was more psychology that we were speaking of than neurobiology. I mean, were you listening? But I'll let the host go
I've
real
never,
quick
yeah,
too,
can you show me the study?
because not my life, but host has plenty of studies to show the evidence that I gave, which was that
Yeah,
we
can I
have
see it?
very low, quote unquote, regret rates, that we go through a lot of discrimination in order to get the care that we need, and that we would be going through unnecessary medical care if we were lying about this. We do have evidence for that much, at least, yes. But I'll let Stowe go real quick.
yeah.
To
So
go.
there's a few different ways that we could like ground
Wait,
it.
so I'm sorry to like cut you off really quick. So, like
The host?
sociology, right?
I'd rather you cut me off than cut the host off. Let's let him finish
All
real
right,
quick.
yeah, sorry, go
No,
ahead.
you can go ahead. I'm interested in what you have to say.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, I don't like affirm sociology to be a determining factor, right? Because this is just going to study like social aspects. These are not going to be a determining factor, meaning these are not going to be absolute. So this is not objective grounding. This would be intersubjective, right? So this is not going to be factual. You guys have factual evidence? Go ahead.
Yeah. So like we do actually have like one of the like the contention to possibly be that like um being trans is like somehow some sort of um like thing that can be influenced. I assume that's kind of what you're saying. Because if you're going to try to reject being, people's being trans, like as being something that is like inherent to them, it's going to be based off of like nurture at that point. And what we've seen is that there isn't like we've seen plenty of studies that have done absolutely horrific things to individuals that have tried to like push them being towards being one gender or the other. And what ends up happening is that people just reject these genders, and they don't like, you can't imprint your own ideas of what somebody else's identity is onto them. Um,
They don't just reject these genders, they're dysphoric in the bodies that they were forced into and with the hormone levels that they were forced to have in their bodies.
they also like just outright like rebel against like anything that they try that tries to push them towards this. Let's see. Yeah, so David Reimer, who is one of the individuals who's had this done, says, "quote It was like brainwashing. I give just about anything to go to a hypnotist and black out my whole past because it's torture. What they did to you in your body is sometimes not nearly as bad as what they do to you in the mind. With the psychological warfare in your head. So like it's very clear that this is not something that like people are just lying about. This is who they are." And even if you try to force people to be somebody who they're not from a young age, they'll reject it. They'll fight against you. They'll be very clear with us that like this is not what they want. This is not who they are.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, my time's like running thin, so I do have to go. But you guys have a good one.
Good
Okay.
timing. You too.
Well, thank you for the conversation. Okay.
They always have to go at such convenient times for them.
That's a good question, Lise. Yeah, he said, ask if it You can ask if self-referral facts should always be taken truthfully or as a lie initially. If everything starts at a lie, then this guy can't even be taken seriously when he says that he's over the age of 18 for TikTok.
Right.
If it starts as the truth, if it starts as truthful, the objection people can lie is null.
Also, I know we have ops in the comments. Please request up. We'd love to discuss these things with you. We'll invite you up maybe if we can, but requesting up is always great too.
What did it do for you to agree that they're men? Well, I don't hold that men can be women, Kyla. I would hold that males can
Exactly.
be women and females can be men, but men can't be women. That's a silly thing to say.
Sorry, mod break again. We're almost to 5K likes. We have 4 shares. Don't like the live to 10K. Don't get us up to 15 shares. Don't comment. That's all.
Oh no, trans women are women. They're just males. There's a difference between male and men. You can be a male and not be a man. You can be a man and not be a male. What's the difference? One is based off of biology, almost exclusively, or I would say exclusively. The other one is based off of a biosocial, biosocial schema, or am I missing something there, Cole?
Biopsychosocial. It's 3
Biopsychosocial.
things. Correct.
Okay.
Can't forget the social part. Anyway, sorry.
And psycho.
Oh yeah, you were close. You got 2 out of 3.
Yup, there it is. Basically picking and choosing at this point shows this stupid. But what are we picking and choosing on? This is we're describing reality based off of how we see it, not how it's been historically described to us. Because that's a silly thing to do, to just say, oh, it's been this way for forever. This is the way it ought to be. It's challenging these ideas of what we've historically seen as standards, and trying to make a change within our society. I also find it very depressing to think that you can't make a change within society.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna remember what I was gonna say. Give me a second.
No, you're not. Let's be realistic. No.
Sometimes I do, okay?
No, you do a lot of the times. I'm just pulling your leg.
What were you saying before this? If you can't remember, that's okay.
Males can be men and men can be, or you can be male and not a man, and a man and not a male.
It was after that. See, or remember that. It's something triggered this thought. I know there was, and I may forget. But,
Is it what the difference is?
Hang on a second. Let me look back at comments and see if it helps.
The echo coming from you always remains a
I know,
because it
so
sounds like
bad.
a fucking Blair horn almost, and it's very funny.
I can lower my volume, which will help,
it's all
but
good.
then I can hear you less. Yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say. So if I do, I'll interrupt in order to share so that I don't forget again. You can be smart too. You're already smart in lots of ways. Just be smart more, Amy. No, it's not easy. It takes a lot of research and practice and all that good stuff. But, I mean, come on up anytime. You know that much.
I fixed my mouse again yesterday.
Yay. Let me... Can I invite this person up?
Kayla?
Yeah, I'm like,
I sent
can
it.
we even? We can. Okay,
It's
cool.
really
cool.
easy for me to send those if they've been chatting. Hi, Kayla. Could I
Hi,
get your age and
Kayla.
pronouns?
I'm 22 and she, her. Guys, let me dwell in the comments, please. I'm so sick of these debates.
Why,
Let me
do you not
dwell.
want to get slammed and dragged through the mud? Because probably what's going to
No, it's
happen.
like 1 a.m. for me and I'm just yapping in the comments. Sometimes I'm sick, so I'm trying not to talk about. Sorry.
I mean,
Do
you
you have a
can weasel
question?
away, but I'm not going to hold you here. I can't. Like, you're free to leave.
No, if you want to have a conversation, that's totally fine. I don't mind.
Okay, our question is, do you agree or disagree with the prompt?
I support trans people in affirmative care. I support trans people in general. Sure, affirmative care would have to stop at anyone under 18 for me. So partial agreement. Like, there's a lot of nuance to the situation that I hold. I think you can live how you want to live and be what you think you are and present how you want to present, but that doesn't make it true to me, and I don't have to abide that reality.
Oh, that doesn't make it true. So you think that trans people are actually trans?
What do you mean by actually trans? Do they have an incongruence?
Do you think that being
Are
trans
trans
is...
women women? Are trans men
Are they
men?
women? No. But do they
Oh,
have an
so
incongruence? They may have.
you don't think that they are the gender that they actually are, though, which is what I wanted to establish. I wanted to figure
No.
that out. So you essentially don't think that trans people exist, which is
No, they exist. They're just not women. That's. I'm
So,
not
wait,
denying
hold
their
on.
existence.
So do you think that being transgender is inferior or somehow worse than being cisgender?
No, and I don't even apply the term cis, to be quite frank with you. Like, no.
whoa, a cisgender person coined the term cisgender in the 1990s, and
That's okay.
cisgender people still can't handle it.
Yeah, why would the person identifying as cis matter in that situation?
It's not about identifying as, it's about what you are or what you aren't. You
Well, if
just
you
fit
don't
the
identify
definition.
otherwise, there is no other option for you other
Well,
than cis, according to you. So
yeah,
Besides
it's...
gender nonconforming, correct.
Yeah,
right.
there's... The reason why we have these terms is so we can accurately describe people. Be able to talk about them without, like, having to say, like, go into detail about their internal, feelings every single time we talk about them. It makes it really short and simple for us to be able to just say cisgender or transgender. In the very
Internal
same way that,
feelings.
like, we somebody who's from a certain area, like from America, so I'm American. It's just something that I am. It's not saying anything about if this is good or bad.
Like,
Well, if
if
you have
you're a
trans, you don't need
tall,
to use the term cis. Like,
like
it's
if
not.
you're sorry, I can't hear you when you're speaking when I'm speaking. Just one more addition to what host said. If you're a tall woman or a short woman or a typically sized woman, like those are all descriptors of who you are. And that's all that transgender and cisgender is just a description of who you are that we only bring up when it's relevant in conversations like this, for example.
Right, calling a woman short or tall is subjective to one who they're talking to. Cis and trans are not the same category. Like, adding a prefix to woman, like, woman is the category.
They are
It's not
adjectives.
cis women.
Believe it or not, it's the same for cisgender and transgender. Believe it or not, science would say that it is paralleled.
They're also the same parts of speech. Both are adjectives. They're used to describe nouns.
That's just a prefix. It's just like, it doesn't
It's an
make a difference.
adjective.
That's okay. It can also be a prefix, can be an adjective. Yes.
I mean,
That's
but
okay.
tall or short or mid-sized is not, it's an adjective. It's not a prefix. A prefix is the first part. We're going back to elementary school here real quick. A prefix is when you combine like a first part of a word with a root word. The first part would be considered the prefix. Tall and woman are different words. They're not combined at all. They're not compounded at all. Short and woman are the same way. Mid-size and woman are the same way. Therefore, these things are adjectives and not prefixes. Same thing goes for transgender and cisgender. Believe it or not.
Cis itself and trans are both prefixes, but they're often used like you could say transalpine and cisalpine. Those are both two things that have been historically used a lot. And they come from the Latin root cis, which means to be on the same side or the opposite, or cis means to be on the same side, trans means to be on the opposite side of. One of them also means north, and the other one means south. That's kind of here and or there. But it's the prefix of that we use to describe somebody's gender, making it therefore an adjective. Because like cisgender is an adjective that describes or modifies.
But I'm not disputing that it's an adjective. I just thought it was pedantic to pick on me for saying a prefix. Like, I agreed it was an adjective.
Oh, okay.
Adjectives can be prefixes. That's okay.
It's not a prefix, though. That's
Okay.
what you don't seem to understand.
Cis and trans
Sure.
are prefixes, but
I'm not even gonna
they're
take
often
that.
just used as
A prefix can literally
Listen,
be
to
anything.
clarify, Kayla, cis and trans are prefixes, but when it's used in the sentence, like referring to a cis woman or a trans man, for example, in the first one, it's referring to a cisgender woman. It is the prefix for the word cisgender, not for the word woman. And also in the second statement, when we say trans man, we are talking about a transgender man, where trans is the prefix to gender, not the word man. Therefore, these things are adjectives and not prefixes in these scenarios.
Okay, great.
Does that make sense to you?
No, I haven't disagreed with anything you said.
Okay.
I'm just asking if it makes sense to you, what I just explained.
Yes, I know what an adjective is. It makes sense. I will be more conscious of the words I'm using.
Yes, because cis and trans are not
different.
prefixes when used in those scenarios. They're
My whole point
just
was we don't actually
adjectives,
need
not
cis if we have
prefixes.
trans. Trans is the adjective to describe
we do
what
need
they want to be.
we do need
Not what
opposite
we
words.
want to do. Just to clarify, sorry, Stowe, as a trans person, trans does not describe what we want to do. Trans is not referring to transition, because
I never
not
said
all.
do, I said be.
Let me finish, Kayla. Not all people are transitioning when they are transgender. Not all people who are transgender have gender dysphoria, especially that would. Let me finish speaking. Especially that would require. Can somebody else please keep her muted, for God's sake? Like, thank you. So somebody who is transgender, it's not describing what they want to do, like you said verbatim. It is describing who they are. It is describing an incongruence between their sex and their gender. Not all of us want to transition medically. Some of us just want to get a different hairstyle or haircut and wear different clothes, okay? So trans does not mean transition. It means transgender. Not all of us transition. Some of us are just comfortable in our bodies and are still trans, the bodies we were born in, and are still trans. So you need to understand that. Go ahead, Summer.
So Kayla, what is your contention? Jesus Christ, your contention with the transgender community?
Oh, thank you. Also, yeah, like, you're monologuing on something I didn't even say. I said be, not do. I understand you don't believe they have to transition. Yeah, my main contention, I've said this when I came up, I don't have an issue how you want to present or what you think you want to identify as, whatever it may be. That's your business. I think when the movement involves eradicating women's language and women's rights and safeguarding, I think that's an issue.
How is that happening?
Okay. Go ahead, Colin.
I'm sorry. I need to learn some self-control in life sometimes. Go ahead, Summer, please.
So how do trans people take away anything from women?
Yeah, when we have specific initiatives and safeguarding for women, that includes males. It's not for women anymore.
Like,
It's that simple.
like,
Like single smack spaces, single smack sports. We have safeguarding around certain shelters, whether it's prisons, DV.
okay, let's go one by one
We
here.
also have initiatives for college, grants for specific
Nice gish gallop.
situations.
Okay, are you gonna gish gallop, or are we gonna be able to go through this and have a
I'm
conversation?
sorry, I thought you asked me a question. Go ahead.
So, sports. Name one transgender individual that is dominated in women's sports.
I would say Leah Thomas.
Fifth place.
Has pretty much dominated.
Nope, hold on. She tied
Oh.
Riley Gaines for 5th place. How is that dominating?
Yeah, she compared to the male category where they were placed, top
5th place is
500, that is
in
dominating.
what sport?
I mean, if we
In
want to
what?
talk about like unfairness, we should just not let people like Michael Phelps, who had webbed fingers, compete.
Well, that's neither here nor there, Stolsky.
Well, no, but like this is the whole thing. Is like it's an argument about, oh well, this is unfair for us, but it's like this argument. Sports have never been
but this
about
would
fairness.
also-
They never have. People, we
Who
have freaks of
hasn't?
nature. I mean, not actually. Like I wouldn't call them freaks of nature, but people who are like
That's crazy.
genetically far superior at doing certain sports, and we just let them compete.
Which
Like,
are also put into their own subcategories in that specific sport. If you're talking about wrestling or MMA,
no,
like
they're not.
they're also in subcategories based on weight. Yes, they are based on weight.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
they
they're
are.
based off of weight, but that doesn't mean that they don't
Due
have
to
a
strength imbalance.
biological advantage. Like, if you're 120 pounds and you're like twice as strong as everybody else who's 120 pounds, that's like really not fair to everybody else if it's just because your genetics make you twice as strong. Is it?
No, that would be the peak of that biological marker for men. You wouldn't put a woman in the ring with that person because their natural average biological markers for that class wouldn't adhere to that.
Where's this happened, by the way?
Where has what happened?
Where has this happened where transgender women have gone against cisgender women in the ring?
I can't remember the name, but it was pretty big last year. There's also Max Lindsay as well.
Hold on, are you talking about Imane Khalif?
Yes, sorry, that's her name, Imani. Yeah.
She is a cisgender woman from Algeria. If she was
they never proved
Kayla,
that. They were
are you
asked.
gonna let me finish?
Sure, go ahead.
She's a cisgender woman from Algeria. She cannot be transgender in that country. She would be unalived. She would not be competing in the Olympics if she was trans.
Right, that's great, but I haven't seen anything that suggests either or.
Okay, then prove that she was transgender.
There were documents that she was banned from other events because of her testosterone levels, and apparently because of
hold on, is it because of her testosterone levels or because she's transgender?
And testosterone levels, sorry, both. But
both?
Regardless,
okay, then please provide evidence. Nope, please provide evidence for this.
I don't have evidence on this at the moment. This is just
you made a claim.
Wait, no, you asked me a question about Imani.
Provide that evidence.
You asked where this was happening.
Provide the evidence.
Why are you clicking at me like I'm a dog?
Provide the evidence.
Because you're acting like somebody who doesn't know how to debate. Like, we need to
I
teach
didn't
you.
come here for a debate.
Go ahead
This is a
and give
discussion.
us the evidence.
So you get to make claims and not provide evidence for them?
You're cool with
I'd really rather
misinformation.
make research this whole thing.
Yeah, so the IOC has said that the Algerian boxer was born female, registered female, lived her life as a female, boxed as a female, and has a female passport. What else do you want other than the IOC themselves saying this?
Not to mention being from Algeria, where it is illegal to be transgender.
Yeah, there's no suggestion that Khalif identifies as anything other than a woman.
Does she live in Algeria?
Yes.
Do you think that you have to live in a country to compete for their flag underneath the
I
flag?
never made that claim. I was just asking if she lived there.
Well, you can deduce that.
I don't.
Yeah, you can deduce that
There's
if
no
they're
deduction when I'm asking a question, and I've just clarified for you.
they're competing for Algeria. So I think they live in Algeria. I think the IOC would kick them out otherwise. There isn't even like evidence that she's like has some sort of intersex condition.
Not right now because this was not what I came up here. I don't have a prepared evidence list for you. I would have to do some research and get
Yeah,
information on that.
I'm just looking
So you're
on
trying to
her
say Amani
Wikipedia
Khalif
page itself.
was transgender. You're trying to
I
say
wouldn't
Amani
use
Khalif was
Wikipedia.
transgender, correct?
But when you asked me a transgender athlete, that's the first person that came to mind. Yes.
She is not transgender. So how
Sorry,
is
in
she a
wrestling
transgender athlete?
specifically. Sorry, what was your question? I was speaking.
She wasn't transgender, so how is she a transgender athlete?
Yeah,
From what I know and what I have read about them, they were trans or some sort of intersex condition.
Were they trans or did they have
Regardless,
some
this
sort
was
of
like
intersex
2-3 years ago
condition?
when this happened.
Were
So
they transgender or did they have some sort of intersex condition?
You do realize
Well, it
those
could
are
have
two
been.
different things, right?
Yes, I'm aware they're two different things. Although they could have been intersex, assigned male. They would be male. Sorry, not
They were
assigned male.
not
They would
assigned
be
male at
male.
birth.
And then right, but that's what I'm saying. That's how they could have been trans, right?
so the whole controversy came out when
Also, intersex people can be trans. I don't even
What
know
does
why
it,
you asked me
hold
that.
on, what's the definition of
Not
transgender?
always.
Sorry, what was your question?
What is the definition of transgender?
A transgender individual is someone who has an incongruence with their assigned gender. That's all it
With their,
means to
hold
me.
on, no, with their sex assigned at birth. If she was assigned female at birth and identifies as a woman, how is she trans?
If she was assigned who? Imani?
Imani Khalif, yes.
Well, then she wouldn't be trans. But I'm saying from what I
Duh.
read,
So pick
right? But I
another
don't have.
athlete. Duh. So let's pick another athlete that was that dominated in women's sports.
Don't you love how we bring evidence and you have yet to? Sorry, just
yeah,
observing.
So Leah Thomas.
Leah Thomas took 5th place. That's not dominating.
Well, she got the trophy for first, right?
First, wait, against who?
Against Riley Gaines.
No, she
Riley Gaines
tied
never
5th
got to
place.
take that.
Look this up. She tied 5th place with Riley Gaines. That's not taking first place from Riley Gaines.
Okay, sure. Are you done, or do you want to define what a woman is so we can get through this?
The gender disappointed in you, including your own mother. I don't
Sorry.
engage with the appeal to definition fallacy.
Well, that's what we're. This is what women's rights and safeguarding
We love
and
it.
literally everything that we've gained to be viewed as not a subordinate, like, was based on this definition that we are
How are trans
human,
women
adult
making
human
cis women
females.
subordinate?
I never said they were I said women were viewed as subordinate. I never said trans people made women.
And how are
Like,
trans
please
people
stop.
taking anything away from women?
I already explained this to you. When trans women,
And you
males,
failed to provide
are
evidence
allowed.
for this.
So trans women aren't in women's spaces, aren't
Which
taking
spaces
initiative,
are you
grants,
having genuine
awards
issue
from
with?
women.
Which
wait,
spaces are
Every
you having
space,
genuine issue
every
with?
space is an issue.
yeah. How are
Every
they
space?
providing, like, how are they a threat or like somehow degrading you by just existing?
Yeah, it's degrading to say women have these specific safeguardings in place, initiatives, awards,
How do
grants
I
in
degrade
place,
you?
and then to give them to males. That's degrading to women. Yeah,
Kayla?
I would say.
How do I degrade you?
I can't.
I
I
just
genuinely don't
explained how.
see how somebody existing can
So
be
I would let her
degrading.
answer real quick.
Yeah.
I would let her answer.
I've just explained how.
Well, hosts were
How
speaking
have
at the
I-
same
Also,
time,
like,
so
in general, when
please
women
repeat
don't
it for us,
consent,
Kayla.
when women don't
Please start
consent,
over.
when women don't consent to males in their spaces, and you actively go out of your way to
How do
deny
you,
that,
oh, so
that's an
let's go
issue.
down a line of questioning here. Bathrooms? I'm assuming you have a problem with bathrooms?
Sure, yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg. I mean,
Okay,
if you allow
so let's go down
bathrooms,
this
you
line
allow
of
everything
logic.
else.
Should it be illegal for trans women to use a women's restroom?
It is in some states, yeah.
Should it be illegal?
Should it be illegal? Due to the current climate, yeah.
Okay, how do you enforce it?
The same way every other state that it's illegal in. Like,
And how do they enforce it?
they fine them 3 times, I think, and then it would be jail time. It's that simple.
But how do they determine if somebody is male or female?
They would have to do a background medical check on them.
Background medical check.
Oof.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
And if their medical history says female.
Well, then they're female. Like if there's no evidence
Oh.
of transition, HRT,
Oh.
any sort of assigned anything at birth other than female, then they're female. What?
Yeah, so this
We're not going to
just
assign babies at birth female if they're not female. What?
yeah,
That'd be fucked up.
the only evidence like that even like Khalif beforehand that we were talking about had like any issue was that she apparently took a test that the IBA, which is like a Russian-led international, it's the Russian-led International Boxing Association, had like quote unquote failed due to the fact that she had XY chromosomes. That doesn't mean she's not a female. XY chromosomes, it would just mean that she had like some
Which is
sort
why
of,
I mentioned intersex.
yeah,
which is fine.
But like, it's the funny part about it was that like the disqualification restored the Russian boxer like a Russian boxer's quote unquote undefeated record. So like this is just kind of, it just feels like cope to me that they're just like saying, oh well, we gotta make sure this Russian wins, because
let's go down. I want to continue going down my line of logic here. Which restroom should I use, Kayla?
The male's restroom, if that was your assigned at birth.
However,
if that was your assigned at birth, yeah. Yeah, gender recognition certificates are available for you. I do understand. Like it's okay that you have.
This is from my chart. This is my medical chart.
Whoa, medical records.
Which you said was a qualifier.
She's a woman and a female.
Oh, do you want to see my birth certificate too? I can get that out here too.
I was about to say, my birth certificate doesn't have the correct sex on it yet, but it does have the correct name, which is not the name that was given to me at birth. So,
I do wonder what Kayla would take, like what it would take to have Kayla change her mind about this. Like, is there any theoretical possible evidence we could present that would change your mind, or is this just like an unfalsifiable hypothesis?
So Kayla,
to be like, and obviously, again, I've said this when I come up. You can identify how you want. This doesn't extend you, to the category of what I believe to be a woman and what is a woman,
logic,
or those
I get to use women's
rights.
spaces.
Yeah, so that didn't
Yeah, but
answer
you're not a woman. That's
not my
No,
question.
Kayla, you said birth certificate, medical records. I showed you my birth certificate and medical records.
well, no, the medical record would ensue that you had some sort of transition or you were assigned something else at birth. That's what the
Where
medical
does it say
record is for, because we know
where
we
does
can
it say
change.
transition?
We know we can change or SMEX category on our IDs and our or our birth certificates.
How can
so
I
that
change?
wouldn't matter.
Oh, how can I change what's in my medical history?
Your medical history would be up to date with what you congru with, or what your incongruence was with. Yeah.
So my medical
Are
record.
you saying that you're saying you can't do that?
Kayla, you
Is
said
that your claim?
Kayla, you said birth certificate and medical records. I showed you those things. So therefore, under your logic, I get to use women's spaces.
Yeah, if you're female, that's fine. Yeah, but this is under the preface that your medical records are extensive to your assigned at birth.
That is moving the goalposts. You said medical history.
Yeah, I did expand on that. Go back to the
and birth
replay.
certificate.
Your medical history would go back to your assigned SMEX at birth, which would ensue some sort of transition to female if your ID and certificate were updated. This is why medical records are important.
Where would it show that? Where would it show that I had anything updated?
When you went to be not identified, sorry, when you went to be diagnosed with some sort of incongruence.
When is a incongruence diagnosed?
When? Could be any age.
Yeah, being trans isn't.
You're asking me when gender.
age.
It depends when the person goes. It's
How is somebody
diagnosed?
How is somebody diagnosed with an incongruence?
Yeah,
It
there is no
depends.
diagnosis of being trans. That's silly.
That part.
Yeah. Also, like, what is this? Is this even like a theoretically falsifiable belief that you have? Like, is there any evidence or anything that we could say theoretically to convince you, like that you?
I mean, anything.
Because
I think to me, it's just two different. One, semantics. Like this is all just semantics, and two
Kayla, I
worldviews.
literally
I think
meet
for me
your
to
criteria to go into women's spaces.
no, you showed me a female on a supposed medical record, and you showed me
Those
a
are
birth
my.
cert that can be.
I showed you the
That's fine.
site as well. It is my chart. It
Yes,
is
that can be
literally my
updated
chart.
to your congruent gender and sex. You're claiming you don't,
Kayla,
or
you're
you
moving
can't
the
do that.
goalpost here. You said medical
No,
history.
you can't answer the question.
You said medical history and birth certificate. So, and I showed you both of those things.
So show me that it says female on a medical record is not medical history. Two very different things.
You do realize medical records are a part of medical history, correct?
Yeah, but not the assigned part. That can be anything when you're trans. You can get that
you
reassigned
adding
as anything.
details to move that goalpost afterwards.
Yeah, the
Imagine-
goalpost
But this
has
was
been
already
moved,
said.
everybody.
This was already said.
It just
It's not
You
moving
did
the
not
goalpost.
know.
You just don't track.
No,
Whoa,
you
when
did not
things
say
are
that originally.
repeated. Wow. Sorry, I'll mute again.
It just really seems to me that, like, I know your intentions aren't to do this, but, like, it just seems to me that you're just trying to invalidate somebody. That's just what it really seems like, honestly.
How, when I've
And
already
I've
said,
literally used.
I've
women's
already
history
said,
for
respect you as a person, respect what you want to do and present as. That doesn't make it true to me, and I shouldn't have to
And I've
give
literally used the women's
You
spaces
just-
for several years now. Like,
And you don't believe trans people exist. If you don't believe
That's
that
not
trans
true.
listen
How-
to me.
I
Listen
have
to me,
not said
Kayla.
that.
Let me ask you a question. In a world where everybody is cisgender and nobody's transgender, are there any transgender people?
Sorry, what was your question?
In a world where there is only cisgender and no transgender people, are there any transgender people?
In a world where there are only cis and no trans, are there trans people? Then no, but in the world we live in, there are trans people.
No. Your answer was no. There are
Right,
not
under
trans
your-
people. Let me finish, Kayla. There are not trans people in the world that exist with only cis people. If you believe that everybody is cis, if you believe that nobody is trans, then you do not believe that trans people exist because you believe that they are cis. Therefore, you only believe that cis people exist.
Stotsky, can you explain?
So
I've
let me-
never, no, hold on a second.
I
That's
can-
not
I
what you
can-
said. You said, do you
I-
believe trans people exist in a world
I
of
can
only
elaborate on
cis
this.
people?
I know Stosuke is asking.
Under
so
that,
I'm gonna ask you.
hypothetical, no, trans people wouldn't, but that's not the world we live in. Trans people do exist.
I'm working off. I'll let you go in 1
Off
second.
what? I
Summer.
haven't even made a claim.
Listen, Kayla. I am working off of your framework. Is it?
But my framework isn't
Let
that
me
there are only
finish
cis
speaking,
people.
for God's sake.
Yeah, but you're misconstruing my framework.
This is something called an internal critique, where I
You're
work off.
critiquing literally
Can
nothing.
somebody else
I haven't
mute
made-
again? This is something called an internal critique, which means that I'm working off of your framework. Your framework is that trans people are not really trans, that trans women are men
Never
and
made
trans
that
men are
claim.
women. And when that's the case, no trans people exist. All right? So you
You're
don't
not
believe
right.
that trans people exist. You just aren't able. You just aren't able to like follow this logic. You hate what it shows of you and what it would force for you to admit. And it's kind of sad, honestly. All right, I'm done for now.
Again,
Go ahead, Summer. Summer's
your
gonna go now, and then you
hypothetical
can,
was if
Kayla,
only-
you can respond after Summer speaks. Thank you.
No, but you've just completely taken one thing I've said and run with it. Like that has nothing got to do with my framework or argument.
Okay, let's start from the very beginning then. So, Kayla, are transgender women a category of women or men?
They're a category of men, yes.
So, therefore, you don't think trans people exist?
How can you be a trans woman
Wait.
without being a man?
Wait, but like, if
Like,
Oh, so you think
You
trans
have
women
to-
are men? So, nope,
Sorry.
we're gonna have her prove this. Using a medical or scientific institution, please provide supporting evidence that transgender women are men.
Can you be a trans woman if you are born a female or a girl?
Yes, you can, because if you were assigned male at birth on accident, you'd be still transgender.
This
So
is too
hold on a
nuanced for
second.
So
her to
Can a
Kayla,
understand.
no,
female, not a
hold
Sorry.
male,
on,
I didn't
hold on,
say male.
Kayla,
Can a
stop.
female?
Kayla,
You've just
stop.
asked me to. You've
Kayla,
just asked me
stop.
a question.
No, I did not.
You
I
did. You
asked
asked me to prove. You just asked me to prove that trans women are men. Did you not just
Yes,
ask me that question?
and I'm looking,
Yes.
and I would like you to provide supporting evidence from a medical or scientific institution that agrees with you.
Yes. Therefore, you cannot be a trans woman if you were born female. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. You can
That's not
only be a trans
evidence.
woman.
Holy shit, you think that's evidence?
So how does one identify as a trans woman if not born male and had an incongruence with that sex?
Kayla.
Which is
It's
your which is your
Kayla.
definition,
I'm
by the
looking
way.
for Kayla.
An incongruence.
Kayla. You made a positive claim. The burden of proof is yours to fulfill. So you said transgender women are men, so please provide supporting evidence from a medical or scientific institution that agrees with you. I will wait for that evidence. I'm in front of my PC right now.
Great.
Even if you don't have a computer in front of you, like, we'll let people teacup to go find the sources and then bring them back. So feel free to do whatever you need to do. Also, Summer, I apologize for interrupting earlier. Two, you like basically read my thoughts and kind of run with them. So even when I did say something, like, you were basically saying the same thing in different words right after I was. So again, I'm learning, I'm practicing, and thank you for your patience with me.
Yep, and just remember that I am very strong and independent on my stance, and I know how to handle myself in these situations.
Does this work with like
I've been
trans
doing this for
people
years.
as well?
I've been doing this for 2 years now. I have been asking this same question for 2 years, and I've yet to get a source that says transgender women are men.
Does this work with like trans people too? Like trans to trans communication, trans to trans conversation?
In my opinion, before I mute up again to get rid of the echo, in a way, yes. Even my sister, who is also trans, and I, even though we're like opposite directions, kind of, if that makes sense, like we have this certain level of understanding with each other, being trans in America, experiencing the same or similar discriminations. Like, I lived most of my life as a girl and a woman and being perceived as such. And so I kind of get the misogyny that my sister is going through now that she's out and that she's like getting the care that she needs. And in the same breath, I understand how like medically transitioning can change our bodies and our brains, how we think. Just having experienced both hormone profiles, even though again we're in opposite directions, like we get each other on a level, I feel like. Yeah, so I feel like in this scenario, at least, some trans debaters definitely, or conversationalists, if you will, definitely have the same trains of thought at times, and want to get to the same point. So yeah, we kind of do in some ways. But I want to hear Summer's thoughts on this too. But Kayla's back. Sorry, I totally rambled. I'll mute.
So, Kayla, can you please provide that source?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be intellectually dishonest up here. I'm gonna follow you and I'll send them to you because I do not have time to read through them all and comprehensively understand what they're saying. So I don't have any on me right now, which is fine. But I mean, Biologically,
for
this
the
is just what
time
it is and has
being,
always believed to
at
be.
least for the time being, do you concede that transgender women are not men because you're unable to substantiate it?
No, but under my definition, they would be.
I don't do the appeal to definition fallacy.
Right, but that's how but you're defining a category of what somebody is.
I
You
will
would
show you
have
what the
to.
appeal to definition fallacy is. According to Logically Fallacious, using a dictionary's limited definition of a term as evidence that term cannot have another meaning, expanded meaning, or even conflicting meaning. This is a fallacy because dictionaries don't reason. They simply are a reflection of an abbreviated version of the current accepted usage of a term, as determined by argumentation and its eventual acceptance. In short, dictionaries tell you what a word meant according to the authors at the time of its writing, not what it meant before the time, after, or what it should mean. So no, I do not engage in the appeal to definition fallacy, especially if you use the limited definition of woman being an adult human female, because you know damn well that's not the only definition of woman. Because if you're going to cherry pick definitions, you are committing the appeal to definition fallacy.
Yeah, it would be a consistent definition, historically and up to date with all dictionaries. Also,
What did I just
biologically,
fucking
it
tell
would be
you?
consistent.
What did I just fucking tell you?
Biologically, it's consistent without a dictionary, so it wouldn't really matter.
Biologically, okay? Then please
Yeah,
provide
when we're
evidence
talking about
for that.
SMECs, it's a bio.
Nope. Provide evidence.
Yeah, so when we talk about SMECs,
Get her
this
off
is a
the panel. She does
biological
not know how to
reproductive
debate.
category. When we talk about
Sex
sex,
and
this is a
gender are not
biological
the same.
reproductive category.
wait,
Under my
Kayla.
definition of adult
Hold
human
on.
female,
Kayla.
this
Are
would
gender
apply
and
to
sex,
this category.
Kayla, are gender and sex the same thing?
They're synonymous in some way, yeah.
Interesting. So infant females are women?
No, they're girls.
Oh, so there's different definitions based on age being a qualifier. So they're not
Yeah,
the
that
same.
would be the social construction, yeah.
Interesting. So do you understand?
Why is that
I want
interesting?
now I want you to provide evidence that sex and gender are synonymous using a medical institution supporting evidence.
Oh my god.
Also, you think age is the social construct and
Oh,
not.
it would have to be, yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Well, human is not a social construct, and SMEX is not a social construct.
Please.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Cole.
Continue to like focus on Summer. That was just sidebar. Sorry.
Wait, why are you
Okay.
confused? Well,
So Kayla, you made
the legal age of
Kayla, Kayla, you made the claim that gender and sex are synonymous. Please provide a medical or scientific institution and their supporting evidence that agrees with you.
yeah, great. Like I've just already said, I don't have a source to pull up
Then
right
you
now.
need to concede because you don't have a source.
No, I don't need to concede. We can use logical reasoning here. If
Oh
I'm
my
saying,
god, get her off the panel. She doesn't know how to debate.
Exactly.
but you're just deconstructing everything that
Well,
biologists and scientists have said for years.
Kayla, what is burden of proof?
Is when you ask me a question, I make a claim, and then you're saying, "Well, prove it." That's literally what's happening.
Yeah.
What is burden of proof?
If I make
If someone makes a claim, they have to prove it, which you've done multiple times that I wouldn't ask you to prove.
There we go.
Yeah, I
You're
know what a
free to
burden of proof is, but when you ask me a question, I didn't make an outright claim. You're asking me a question.
When you're answering yes, that is you making a claim. Therefore, burden of proof is yours to fulfill.
So, can I just ask you, what do you think gender is actually categorizing and defining?
Let's see here. We can go to the WHO. We can go to the Canadian Institute of Health Research. We can go Mayo Clinic. We can go. I think it's
Just
Harvard
what
School of
you
Medicine.
think, because they all have different definitions and categorizations. What is your consistent categorization and definition?
Oh, by the way,
that
these
you
all
have
have
found?
very similar definitions. So which one would you like?
That's whatever. I don't need I just need a discussion here. What do you define it? You don't need to search it. I genuinely just want to know what you think.
I do not base things off of my own opinion. I base it off of medical information. So let's go to the Yale School of Medicine. So let's go to the Yale School of Medicine, shall we? In the study of human subjects, the term sex should be used as a classification generally as male and female. According to the reproductive organs and functions that derive from the chromosomal complement, generally XX for female and XY for male. In the study of human subjects, the term gender should be used to refer to the person's self-representation as male or female, or how that person is responded to by social institutions on the basis of an individual's gender presentation. In the studies of non-human animals, the term sex should be used. Want me to use another one? Let's go to the Canadian Institute of Health Research.
But I'm asking you what gender is defining. And
I'm literally
categorizing,
showing
because there
you
is a
how it's
category to gender.
defined. Sex refers to a set of biological attributes in humans and animals that is primarily associated with physical and physiological features, including chromosomes, gene expression, hormone levels and function, and reproductive sexual anatomy. Sex is usually categorized as female or male, but there is variation in the biological attributes that comprise sex and how those attributes are expressed. Gender refers to socially constructed roles, behaviors, expressions, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, and gender diverse people. It influences how people perceive themselves and each other, how they interact and act with each other, and the distribution of power and resources in society. Gender identity is not confined to a binary girl, woman, boy, man, nor is it static. It exists along a continuum and can change over time. There is considerable diversity in how individuals and groups understand, experience, and express gender through the roles they take on, the expectations placed on them, relations with others, and the complex ways that gender is institutionalized in society. Would you like another one?
I'm asking you what you're defining gender and the categories comprised of that.
You're not ready for this discussion.
But I'm asking you a simple question. It's a simple answer. Like,
He
I
just
really don't
gave
need a
you
whole
two
medical
I'm giving you
definitions.
medical
study.
information. I'm giving you actual scientific institutions.
Both of them
I'm
were
giving you-
completely two
See, Kayla,
definitions. And they weren't even
Kayla.
definitions. They used the term gender in the
Kayla.
definition.
Kayla,
Kayla, I don't think you have the
am I
boost
not
for this
Can you
using
just
hype.
medical
answer
and
the
scientific
question?
institutions and their supporting evidence?
Can you just answer the question?
Yeah, so like I would hold
You're
that.
asking a medical or scientific question. I'm using medical and scientific institutions and their supporting evidence.
That did explain
Why?
what gender was.
Sorry.
To be fair.
Yeah, why don't you accept the two now definitions of gender that Summer has given to you?
Because gender is just comprised of three defining categories. Sorry, the crazy echo phone.
Sorry, it's my bad.
It's okay. It's comprised of three categories, which would be defined by your sex, species, and your age. Like, it's really not that difficult to understand. And this is true for all.
You're making medical and scientific
all
claims,
smack
therefore
space
you need supporting
species.
evidence from a medical or scientific source.
Right, I'm on my phone. I've already explained this to you. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, so gender
Holy shit.
gender emphasizes like the socially constructed ways and differences that society understands men and women that then go give rise to things such as masculinity and femininity. And that's a very
And I was able to
Western.
provide two.
Yeah, it's also this is also
So do you
highly
think it's
dependent on cultures as well.
Do you think it's perception based? Like, what do you think gender is
I
perception
described it
based?
to you in detail.
Not you, Summer. Sorry, Cole.
You mean me? Whiskey.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
whoa. I am not even a part of this. Sorry.
Sorry.
So
I
within
thought
a
you just
society,
responded to me, Cole, with that stuff.
it's not objective within a society. It is like their own subjective sense of it. So like there are different societies out there that have more than just two genders. And I don't think that there's any way that we could say that they're wrong for having more than two genders. And these aren't like just like niche things. They are also legally recognized within legal systems.
But notice
Okay,
how
but-
I made claims, and then I was able to provide supporting evidence from medical and scientific institutions. Why can't
But your
you?
claims say two different things. So it's not a it's not a
They
consistent
said
claim.
similar things regarding sex and
Similar
gender.
is not the same.
Stop it. Stop it. You know damn well that they're similar enough. You're being bad faith right
Basically,
now.
what I got, and the only similarities is that it's an expression. So basically, how you perceive
It's
yourself
just
and
an
how others perceive
expression.
you.
Blatant straw man.
Yeah, and not
Nice.
just, but that's not what it is.
Then what is it?
I've just explained to you. It's defining three categories. It would be your
Get off the panel.
sex, age, and species.
Yeah, this isn't educational anymore because we're not digging into new aspects of the debate or conversation. So I don't know if you want to keep her up. I mean, you've been
I do not.
respectful-ish.
She is here
I
in
know.
horrendous faith.
I got
We
this.
know how that summer feels,
Hold
and
on.
Not
I
having this faith
also
because I
think
don't
that
want
there's
to
bad
go
faith
off,
Hold
spend
on,
an
hold
hour
on. I
reading
got
through a
this.
study for you, Summer. That's
I-
not bad faith.
Holy shit! It takes
Oh,
you
it
an
would
hour
take
to
you
read a
an
study.
hour to.
And this wasn't
Yeah,
a debate.
exactly.
This was a discussion.
So what if okay, let's do this. I'll make a positive claim just to show you how this works. What if I was to tell you that in transgender women, their brain sex is closer to their gender identity?
I mean, GAY men overall, their brain specs would be closer to what a woman's brain
Kayla?
specs would be. They're not women.
Kayla,
Like,
that's not what I said.
Dodge number one.
go ahead. You
Try number
actually, do you know, I would
two.
actually love that source, and that way
Sure,
I
PMID
can look it up.
353-29908. I will
Can
pull it up
you
right
just
now.
hold on a second? What's the PMID so I can write it in the comments?
353-29908 or 353-29908. Click into the
Thank you.
PMC. You'll see the brain sex in transgender women is shifted towards gender identity. And it'll actually show that they have a unique brain phenotype that puts them closer to cisgender women than cisgender men's are. And these are transgender women that have not undergone hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah, this is just. This is based entirely off of their innate sense of self at that point. So
and
like,
it even shows.
Oh.
Was orientation and sexuality taken into account in this study as well? Because we know
Holy
JY men do
fuck.
have this standard as well.
Holy
But they
fuck.
have the same
It's
brain
regarding
standard as well.
cisgendered. It's regarding cisgender women, cisgender men, and trans women. And the
I'm
observed shift
asking,
away
was
from the male typical
orientation-
brain anatomy towards a female typical one in people who identify as transgender women suggests a possible underlying neuroanatomical correlate for female gender identity. That is, all transgender women included in the study were confirmed to be genetic males who had not undergone any gender-affirming hormone therapy. Thus, these transgender women have been subject to the influence of androgens and grown up, at least up until a certain age, in an environment that presumably treated them as males. The combination of male genes, androgens, and to some degree male upbringing should be ordinarily be expected to result in a male typical brain, making, which is shown in these sources, making a female typical brain anatomy extremely unlikely. Yet the brain anatomy in the current sample of transgender women is shifted towards their gender identity, and observation is at least partly in agreement with previous reports as discussed in the following. Holy shit.
Can you show me the PMID?
Yeah,
353-29908.
I put it in the comments as well.
Question: Can
I'm not finding anything with that ID.
wow?
PMID 353-29908.
I copy and pasted.
The brain sex in transgender women is shifted towards gender identity from the National Library of Medicine, PubMed Central.
Yeah.
Even if you just search 353-29908, you actually get the results. You don't even need to have PMID in there. That's a great thing about PMID.
Yeah, sorry, I just found it. Yeah.
If you can still, which was my question, if you can still hear us while you're teacups, which I think you can,
You can.
just take your time. Like, we'd rather have you take your time, get through it, rather than just like skim and not really get the gist of it, and then come back debating something that you aren't caught up with. So yeah, take your time.
Mikey, we agree, but in a controlled environment where you can get routine blood testing just to make sure you're healthy.
Speaking of blood testing, I'm supposed to get that done tomorrow. I don't like blood being drawn.
Hey, phlebotomy.
So I was just went to save it so I can go back over it later. I mean, such a small sample size. I mean,
What's the rule of 80?
What's the who? What?
What's the rule of 80?
The rule of A&E.
80.
The rule of 80, I've never heard that in my life.
That means that a sample size of 80 is sufficient. It is 72, yes. However, that is close enough to the rule of 80 that it declares that it is a reputable sample size, and it is a peer-reviewed article that is in the National Library of Medicine.
I wonder if there's been follow-up studies on this too.
Me too. Because I do know in LNG women, there have been similar outcomes.
In what?
Which means that it could not be purely based on
In what?
sense of self or identity.
Wait, in what?
In the LNG women and men, sorry.
Holy fuck. All right, get off.
Yeah, I don't know what I kind of can't say on TikTok, to be honest. Like, lesbian and gay, I don't want to take your live down, but if you guys don't understand what I'm saying.
Damn.
She doesn't understand sample sizes. She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand.
Yeah, but I think comparatively, 80 people compared to 360 million, and that's just the US, like, is literally nothing.
Hey Kayla, I just find it really funny that you were getting upset about transgender swimmings, considering you're literally too dense to float.
That was great.
Thanks, Allie. I stole that from you.
Take some original pictures next time.
Thanks for crediting the person who came up with it. I do that shit sometimes.
I had to mute myself when I saw that the first time. I was fucking crying. I was laughing so hard.
Well, at least we can at least describe that she's a fake Instagram model because she takes basic bitch photos with a filter. Meanwhile, I am an Instagram model that actually hires a photographer.
Damn. Get her.
Hi, can I get your age and pronouns? I give up.
I'm 22 and I'm a male. I guess I'm a he him.
Okay.
Very good.
Round of applause. I didn't want to have to go through that. Oh no, there's so many people that there's like I'm just a guy and then just won't refuse to like engage in the basic ligma test. Like it's a ligma test to see that if like somebody's even got the boots for a hike. So.
No.
You mean litmus?
Oh, litmus, yeah. Sorry,
I was about to say, I don't think that's it. Sorry, we tease because we care.
Yeah. So why don't you agree? Or if you don't agree, do you agree with the prompt that I support transgender individuals and affirmative care?
I mean, so like, I can kind of speak on this because I've crushed a tranny before. It's pretty cool. But like,
oh, don't use slurs. You're not cool.
It's not a slur. I can't say that.
That's
so then okay.
It's historic. So it historically has been used to degrade individuals. So it's close enough to a slur that I don't. I wouldn't recommend saying it.
So I'll just say transgender people.
Yeah, that's far more humanizing.
Or T. I don't know. But
transgender T. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, considering I never attacked looks.
No, I think
berating and degrading women is totally fine. Don't be basic next time. Get a hot photographer and actually get some nice photos. 10 out of 10 recommend.
I think it's pretty cool.
I'm sorry.
W-Ally.
Keaton, you and Allie are cracking me the fuck up in the group chat right now, and I just can't keep my shit together.
Do I have any proper I need to find a weasel gif. There.
No, I'm just saying, like when I told I was just giving you that I contribute. You know what I mean? I'm making sure that transgender people don't feel left out in terms of the bedroom. I was doing my job. So,
Good. Good for
that's
you.
all. That's all I want to say.
Weird that you focus on
A
that aspect
little
of
No.
it,
It's not
Trey.
focusing. It's
bit.
just because I really crack everything under the sun. Only certain, of course, of age and for
TMI,
the
bud.
most part. I mean, well, they have to be 18 and over. I mean, it's kind of toss up when after that. I don't really be caring.
So it doesn't sound
Sometimes
like
I do really down bad stuff.
it sounds like we don't
Huh?
disagree. So have a good day.
Okay, yeah, you can drop me.
Yeah, that was getting a little something. I don't know. I don't know if I like that or
Oh,
not.
I can't.
so
I
apparently I'm the
fucking can't
aggressive
with
trans
that.
woman. Hold on. So apparently I'm the aggressive trans woman, which is very much microaggression-y.
Did Kayla say that?
Yep.
Cole, look
I'm
in
gonna just
look in
mute her.
Discord chat.
We don't need that.
Look in Discord chat, Cole.
Wait, hang on.
Let's see here.
Hi, Daniel. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
Oh my god.
I'm 30.
Okay, sorry.
Can I get your pronouns too?
He.
Okay. Do you disagree with the prompt?
For kids, yeah. For adults, I don't care.
Oh, so what if I was to show you a 1,051 page meta-analysis showing the benefits of gender-affirming care in pediatric patients?
You just talked really fast and kind of low.
Okay, so let's go to the University of Utah.
I didn't hear what they said.
Speaking a little bit slower may help some people genuinely. Summer.
Okay,
I
so
don't
Daniel,
know.
what if I was to show you a 1,051 page meta-analysis of the benefits of gender-affirming care in pediatric patients?
Yeah, what if I was to tell you that you don't really need a study that's saying injecting a kid with synthetic hormones, doing gender
How young
reassignment
do you think we're
surgery,
going with?
and doing
How young do
puberty
you think we're going
blockers?
with the hormones?
Hormones usually start around 13 to 15.
13 to 15.
Usually?
Holy shit.
Sorry.
I'm saying if it happens for kids, yeah. I don't care when anyone's a
What
consenting
age does
adult.
Tanner stage 2 start in puberty?
That's different per child.
What age does Tanner stage 2 start on average?
Usually it's 10 to 12.
10 and
Or
hold
is it
up.
9 to 12?
9 to 12.
I'm not sure if I remember the exact average between.
I hope it's not starting at 9. That may even be precocious at that point.
Around age is 9 to
Well,
14.
women usually
so-
get to puberty earlier than.
Okay, fair. I
girls
learned
usually
something.
before boys. So
9 to 14. I guess 9 is
yeah,
not
so I was
quite
correct. I
precocious.
I
thought it
do
was.
need to get going though because my partner needs a computer.
So fair. Thank you for
Talk
being
to you
here.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming, Summer. Sure. Yeah. So it's pretty clear that when we're affirmative with adolescents, it leads to better outcomes in their life. People also, I think, from if I recall right, it leads to actually like better like even they themselves tend to accept it more or have like less regret rate or lower regret rate if we allow individuals to make like at least an informed decision on this. Because like it's not like it's something that this is not like a cosmetic thing. It is something that is affirming towards their identity, and that is something that somebody does know at that age. Like people can know what their identity is and do know what their identity is at ages 9 and up.
Do you think kids could consent to this?
I don't think that. So the
Like they know the long-term ramifications of it.
It also includes their parents and the doctors, to be clear.
It's
Yeah,
not
but I mean the
just
kid
them
has to
doing it.
consent to it at the end, obviously.
No, the kid, the parents, and the doctors have to
Yeah,
consent to it.
obviously if the kid says he wants and the parents and the kids do, but it's only going to happen if the kid wants it, so they're consenting to it.
Yeah, but the parents have to consent to it as well.
Yeah,
I'm
one of
saying
three
if the parents
parts.
do it and the doctors do it, that the ending thing has to be the kid actually wanting to do it, so they're consenting to it, right?
I mean, to
It's
some
not
extent,
just
they have
wanting,
to.
it's yes, and
needing.
it's more of a need, backed up by multiple years of like therapy surrounding their gender identity and such in
No, I'm
order
just
to
saying, do you think
support.
kids could
And
consent
I'm not finished speaking. In
And I didn't
order to
finish my
support,
point earlier. And you interrupted me.
Daniel, I'm just hush. Um, so they have had years of therapy, in which they have established that they have an insistent, consistent, and persistent gender identity, before they have access to any of this kind of care, according to the WPATH guidelines. So this really isn't happening unless doctors are breaking WPATH. Muting wars are fun, I guess. Just, I'm done now. Literally, that was it. So, go ahead, I guess.
You still haven't answered. So kids can consent, in your opinion. They know the long-term ramifications of it.
I don't think they can. They can kind of
Yes.
understand them, but they can't understand them in the same sense that like an adult would. But when it comes down to something that it dramatically increases their quality of life, I think that the risk far outweighs the or the rewards far outweigh the risks.
So he's talking about quality of life. So
Mhm.
puberty blockers are essentially experimental for gender dysphoria. You do know that, right?
No, they're not actually used to
That's
treat
not
gender
I have to
dysphoria.
prove it to you pretty quickly.
You disagree with science, bro.
No,
I
I
don't
can
know
prove
what
it to you
else to
pretty
tell
quickly.
you.
I'll go
Gender-
through a couple questions. You can answer them.
Also, let me just
Are
tell
you
you this:
ready?
puberty blockers aren't used
So
to
hold on.
treat.
When someone goes on a puberty blocker, what are they doing?
Let's
Why are
let
they
the
using it?
host speak when the host is speaking.
Yeah, so
okay?
puberty blockers aren't used to treat
It's
gender
just going to be a
dysphoria.
mute fest and not even let me talk.
Well, I hope you understand that puberty blockers just simply aren't being used to treat, gender dysphoria. That's not the intention.
I know.
That's not why they're being used.
You're not even letting me get into my thing. I made my point. I said I'm going to elaborate on it. Then you just started talking.
Yes, but if
You
you're
said no, didn't even let me explain my point. So you're saying no to something you haven't even let me
Okay, go
elaborate
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
You've also spread. Wait, Stowe. Before he does, you've been spreading misinformation through your quote unquote beliefs of our community, my community, and that's not something that we'll let fly without interrupting and correcting it along the way. So do expect potential interruptions if that's the case.
Yeah,
but
it's false in your eyes, but
you're
true
free
to
to
the majority
speak.
of the world.
Wow,
So we can move
you're
on.
free to speak your mind. I have no idea what you just said because I was also speaking, but you're free to speak your mind as long as you're okay with being interrupted for things like misinformation.
Yeah, I said it's false to you, but true to the majority of the world. So now I could elaborate on my point. So for gender dysphoria and puberty blockers, what essentially are they doing with the puberty blockers to treat gender dysphoria?
They're not. They're trying to prevent future dysphoria from happening.
Okay, perfect. So how long are they on it for?
Ideally, it's less than 2 years.
Okay, and essentially they're pausing their puberty, correct?
Yeah, that's what puberty blockers do.
Yeah. So why are they pausing the puberty?
Because it could lead to more dysphoria. We understand that it's so when individuals are trans and they understand that they're going to want to go through, like a male or female or a typical male or female puberty. What we do know is that like a trans man would often feel dysphoric about having boobs grow and having breast tissue grow. So it's to prevent that and to give them a better quality of life, based off of being able to go through the puberty that will actually be affirmative to them.
When they get off the puberty blockers, what happens?
Okay, Daniel, please let the host finish, and then please let me elaborate further.
Oh my!
Thank you.
I can't do this anymore. I'll see you guys later.
It was gonna be so quick. This is sad. All I was gonna say is that sorry, hang on, I will remember this time. Is that puberty blockers are not meant to treat gender dysphoria. They're meant to allow time for the child to explore their gender so that they can properly choose which puberty aligns with who they are. It's just to give time to explore. That's all I was going to say. What was that? 30 seconds maybe?
Also, Allie brought up a good point in Discord. She said that like weird that they don't think that kids should need to consent to long-term damage of natural puberty. Like if we're gonna hold that,
Absolutely.
like this is something that kids can't consent to, we should be able to give individuals at least a choice. Because we know it can cause people to feel dysphoric.
Absolutely. I mean, being somebody who should have been given that choice, and who is currently feeling the effects of not having that choice when I was young enough to pause puberty rather, and be able to go through the correct puberty the first time, like that's really damaging to people.
I would say
That's really
desired,
harmful.
not correct, by the way. Sort of? I don't
It
know.
wouldn't be correct. Listen, it wouldn't be correct from a biological standpoint.
Yeah.
But it would be from aligning with my gender. Just like I don't say preferred pronouns, I say correct pronouns, the ones that align with my gender. That's kind of what I'm saying when I say correct puberty, quote unquote. I'm doing it, but you can't see me. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I was more saying that, like, correct in the sense that, like, I don't think that there's a way of saying that, like, if somebody, doesn't go through puberty, that's, like, not, like, they just naturally don't go through, like, that'd be incorrect. Or that it's correct to, put people through puberty.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, kind of making a, there's some, like, hidden, it's loaded language in the sense that, like, there's some, like, hidden meaning behind it. So I would say desired, because, like, that would make, it is what we're kind of describing.
Or just say, I know it's more wordy, but just say that the puberty that aligns with their gender.
Yeah, that
would also be appropriate. So, yeah.
Oh, where did everybody go? We had so many people in here.
For real, mod break, we haven't gotten even to 5K likes. Well, now I'm setting the goal to 10K likes.
And I'm setting
it doesn't take that much to tap. 4,400 likes. Yep. Well, we're already there. Are you saying you're gonna go?
No, I'm just saying I don't care about this stuff. Like, I don't think it. Like, as long as there's people liking occasionally, I think that the algorithm. I care more about, like, engagement in chat. That's gonna be what actually boosts his engagement and that kind of stuff. It's not just.
Maybe I should put that. Sorry.
No,
maybe I should put that as the first thing that I say instead of the last thing that I say in mod breaks, because I did start saying, like, don't send live chats or whatever, the fact. So I can start saying that at the beginning instead of at the end of my whole spiel. By the way, mod break, I see we're up to 4,600 likes. Whoever has been liking, thank you. Ryan, I see.
Stop
at
liking
least
the
now. I got us to 10 shares. Somebody sent one more. Let's see if we can get to. Let's see if we can get to 20 shares. If it's only the people up here that are sharing, it's just not going to help us much. But of course, as we were saying, engage in chat, because that's going to help us the absolute most. But of course, doing these other things, also sending roses to meet the live goal. As far as I know, and I've never, like, done gifting much on this app, as far as I know, roses are pretty cheap. So feel free to just send a couple, even if that's all that you've got is a few cents or whatever. And that'll boost the live so that we can continue having these conversations. Even if you're opposition, if you enjoy these conversations, do these things so that we can keep having these conversations. So thank you.
Yeah, I
for
think
the
that
shares.
sharing
Thanks for the
sharing
legs.
and
We made it to
engagement.
5K. Sorry, I'm done now.
It's mostly sharing engagement. I don't think that. I mean, I assume with bigger ones, the TikTok likes to have more donations and stuff. But I don't care if they want that. Like that's not. I don't care. The goal is there because people asked me to put a goal. Well, hi Jay, there Jazzy. Um,
You know they asked you to put a goal because it helps your life, right?
I don't care why they asked me.
You can put it at 10 roses and make it super easy to meet, and then it will boost your live. Just saying, that's all.
Yeah, so TikTok uses like they do progressive algorithm like adjustments with like how they see like everything's done kind of on the fly. Like there are times where like for smaller creators if they have a bunch of people sharing it and people are clicking through it, that's like gonna really shoot the live engagement up. But if it's like a larger channel, that same amount might not boost the live as much in terms of how much further it's going. Um,
Sorry, I'm just taking a moment to yell because I got my allergy shot yesterday, and my one arm that got the like tree grass pollen allergy shot always gets so mad because I'm at the 1-to-1 concentration, and it literally makes me yell sometimes. Like if you could see, it's like a welt, like a big ass welt on my arm. Okay, rant over. That was so random, and gods, I just this is miserable.
but yeah, I kind of do like this prompt better. Not it seems to be a little bit more like it makes a lot more sense in terms of like if somebody doesn't have a falsifiable belief, I don't think there's any real reason in like really engaging in discussion until we can get over that hurdle. It's like if they have a belief that like God is like impossible to be falsified, then it just doesn't matter at that point or to have any conversation. It's gonna go nowhere. This is talking to a brick wall at that point. A brick wall is as likely to change its mind as this individual. It's
For
theoretically
real.
unfalsified.
It definitely like brings out like, is this person willing to learn, or is this person not, like pretty early on in the conversation, which I think is uh targeted to like our goal with, or at least what I see as one of the goals of these conversations. So
Oh, you mean
yeah,
forcing
definitely
people to be
agree.
trans? No, just kidding.
I have biofreeze and it's been in my car, which means it's cold. Hack, if you ever get an itch, put biofreeze on it. It will make it stop itching. It's better than toothpaste, which is another hack I used when I was younger. I just had this random idea, I don't know, for my hives like maybe a few months ago. It works so well. You don't have to hold an ice pack on it. You don't even need hydrocortisone cream. It's kind of great.
I assume it's just to help like cause stimulation in the area so that
It just feels like a cold burn instead of an itch, and I would just much rather that than the extreme itching I'm experiencing. So,
got it.
different sensation is good. I don't know. It feels like there's an ice pack on it, and that like gets rid of the itch as well. So I don't know how to describe it. It's just it's really helpful, at least for me.
So Jasmine Bell was on Twitch beforehand. I guess
Oh,
I'm gonna assume based off of Jasmine. Correct me if I'm
well,
wrong.
I mean, I always say they until I know differently, but that's your call, I guess. Of course. But yeah. They're here. Hello. If you would like to share your pronouns with us, please do. And thank you for liking the live, love.
Where did all the friends go? Tell me our familiar faces.
You literally just said, where did all the friends go?
Yeah.
Did you mean, where did all the op go? We have
too.
all friends. See? Everyone's friends. Cuddling with puppy is good.
Yeah.
If you can cuddle a puppy, do it.
I get Doggo, I get Daniel, and on Friday. In 2 days.
Yay!
Yeah, and I get
That'll be
the
good.
absorbent amount for watching. I swear it's like I'm like holding their dog hostage or some shit with how much they pay me.
I have my cat. Yes. Animals laying on top of you is great. Our, like, Shadow, when we had him, was like, I don't know, 65 pounds-ish. And every time he would just, like, lay on top of me, like, fully, I'd be like, this is the life. He thought he was a lap dog. And I find that iconic. Okay.
Hi, Everett. Could I get your age and pronouns, please?
19. He, him, I guess.
Do you support transgender people in affirmative care?
I neither support or like not support. I'm like, I literally don't care. I just want to like come up here and say, why would you have to like? I don't get why people care so much. Like, you shouldn't have to like tell everybody that you're transgender. Like, could you not keep it to yourself?
I'm not transgender.
I'm just saying for the people that are.
Yeah.
Do you think if there was legislation against you, you would just be quiet about it, shut up, not do anything?
What was that?
Do you think if there was legislation against you and your community that you would just shut up and not do anything about it?
Like, give me an example of something.
We're facing a lot of legal erasures as the trans community right now, where we're not allowed into certain spaces, we're not allowed access to certain healthcare and the like.
Well, yeah,
so those
because
are
common sense. Why would you be able to go somewhere that like that's saying going into the men's restroom even though you're like a girl, or going into the girls' restroom even though
It's
you're
not
a man?
like that at all, actually.
That is literally what you just said.
So
Absolutely not the words that came out of my mouth, to be clear. But go ahead, Stowe.
do you think that we should protect individuals that are being harmed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you would be for supporting transgender individuals being allowed to make choices over which bathroom they use, because it's been very clearly shown that individuals, when forced to
This
go
wouldn't
into,
happen if you guys would have just kept it to yourself.
Can you let the host finish speaking?
like,
Or
I
do you
grant
need
that you
your
normally
sentences?
don't let people finish, but like, we're not your partner. We would like to finish before you interrupt us or stop.
I don't want you to finish. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that you don't let other people finish. That's really weird.
Why would I
like
want you to
self-centered.
finish? Why would you finish for me? That is so weird.
Well, why would you stop somebody
For
from finishing?
you? That's what's weird. For you? You just apply that to the end of the statement.
Wait, bro, do you have a pole or a hole?
Does it matter?
Christ, it doesn't
does.
matter.
You know what's in my
Thank you for
pants?
taking that
Magic.
from me.
Magic is in my pants because it lets other
Magic
people
is in your
finish.
pants. Ew, what? No one's finishing to you, faggot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not gonna say words like that.
Bye. That was wild work. Also, thank you for taking that kind of and you are always obviously like
I don't care if they
in
call me
charge of
names. I don't fucking care.
and you're in charge of like what you share, what you choose not to share. But in these conversations, I personally, at least for me, find it relevant to just say, what does it matter? When they ask what's in my pants, when they ask what sex I was assigned at birth, when they ask things of that nature, you know, like if they just don't know and are confused, oftentimes that gets the point across a bit more. Not always,
we
but
got restricted
oftentimes.
for that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, when someone else was I unmuted? God damn it.
No, it's just that I should be more quick about if they're saying that stuff, just to ban them immediately.
Fair.
That's fine. Hi Thomas, could I get your age and pronouns, please?
23 and he, him.
Do you disagree with affirmative care and transgender people? For supporting them?
Well, I more so want to hone in on what it would take for me to support transgender people in general. So here's where I'm at, right? I don't believe a man can ever actually become a woman or an actual woman, and I don't think a woman can become an actual man, and I don't think there's anything in between. I'm a believer in sex, not gender, honestly.
Wow, I don't exist. Funny.
You exist, you're just not the thing you claim to be, in my opinion.
Oh, so you don't think
Therefore,
that transgender
trans
people
don't
exist?
exist.
What was that?
So do you just think that trans people don't exist?
I think the people exist.
Do you think that they're transgender?
Not in any pragmatic way, no.
Oh, okay, so then transgender people don't exist. I would just hold this to be extremely
No,
transphobic.
the people exist, but they're not actually the gender they claim to be.
Yeah, so if nobody can be identified as trans people don't exist.
They can identify as whatever they want, it doesn't make them what they are.
Yeah, okay, so the point that I'm trying to make is that you're just being transphobic at this point. Like,
But what does that mean?
Yeah, so to think that being trans is lesser or worse than being cis, or that being trans is not real.
Isn't it objectively worse if you have higher unaliving rates?
Wow, that's wild. What do you think those rates are due to?
Probably the depression and anxiety that someone with that condition tends to
What
have.
do you think that depression and anxiety comes from?
Their biology not matching up with their mind.
That's not what science supports.
Would you find it surprising
Science says, sorry, real quick. Science says, believe it or not, that the number one indicator of these things is family support or lack thereof. And it includes other things such as peer support and support in your work in your community. Go ahead, Stowe.
Well, I mean, if you're expecting the whole world to go along with a lie and that's the only thing keeping you from unaliving yourself, you don't have a healthy lifestyle.
Is science the lie?
A lie is that if you're a man, you can become a woman, or if you're a woman, you can become a man.
We are not claiming that. We don't believe that.
That's what does the term trans women or women mean?
It means transgender yeah, so I got this. This is So a transgender individual identifies with a sex that does not align with their, or sorry, they identify with a gender that does not align with the sex that they're assigned with at birth. It being cisgender is to have that alignment. It has nothing to do
normal.
No, so
being cisgender is to be normal.
Would you find it shocking that all major medical organizations in the world agree that being trans is not wrong or unnatural or like unnormal, or that it is normal and expected actually?
No, it's very much not normal. What percentage of the population is trans?
What percentage of populations are redheads? So does that mean that redheads are not normal?
No, because they're not normal as far as hair color is concerned, but hair color is a far less intense or necessary component to judge someone.
Well,
it's definitely not normal to be a redhead. No.
Do you think the term? Sorry, go ahead.
Do you think that it's expected that redheads exist?
Yes, and it's a genetic and objective reality that they do.
Yeah, the same thing goes for transgender people, unfortunately for you. And studies
Yeah,
show
so
that there are genetic aspects to being transgender.
if a redhead dyed her hair purple and demanded that I acknowledge it as her natural hair color, I would say that that person is also not normal.
Yeah, funny
That's
thing
not
for you is that's
analogous.
not what transgender people are claiming.
That is when they say trans women are women, because they're not. They're men dressing up like women.
Are
It's
you
a costume.
saying? I mean, that would imply that men can be women, and I reject that notion. Unfortunately, men can't be women. Males can be women, and
No, how?
yeah, because so do you know what gender is?
Gender, as you're going to describe it, is the identity as opposed to the biological characteristics.
So it's the socially constructed ways that we express ourselves along the or that people understand and express themselves among the continuums of masculinity, femininity, neither or both. It is historically been like had a direct link to like natal sex or sex assigned at birth. And there's a number of different terms that people use to describe their gender.
Yeah,
Importantly, different parts of the world have had more than just two genders, which I think would be very problematic for your worldview, considering that these evolved, you know, without any like link between them. So people in India had evolved a third gender, and multiple Native American tribes evolved third genders. So this
okay,
means that
that's
this
great.
is
They're
something
all
that's actually evolved independently and arose, and it shows that this is actually something innate to humans. This is something that
so two societies or two groups or two peoples getting it wrong at two different places at two different times doesn't make it right. First of all,
it's just more than
if
just
you
two.
cite the
Give
you,
evidence that
you
it was
cite
wrong.
you cite the Indians and you cite the Native Americans, and I'm gonna
Don't
tell you
call
if
them that.
what
Don't.
No. I
what?
was citing Indians
Oh,
and
wait,
Native
sorry.
Americans. This is actually
I got it
correct.
confused for a second. It just took me 1 second to catch up. I'm so sorry about that.
Well,
I
this
am
is the
talking
problem. Yeah,
about.
you guys are overly sensitive too. That's another problem.
I'm a
That
shush. I can
No,
admit when
it's
I'm
all
wrong.
good.
I'm a shush. That was
okay,
my bad.
hold on. This gets me to my point pretty well, right? Because I never even got to get to my point about what would it take for me to support you guys, or at the very least be entirely indifferent. All it would really take was for you guys to be more self-aware. So if you came to me and you said, yeah, I have gender dysphoria and I have to dress and appear this way so that I cope with it, but I understand that doesn't actually make me a woman. I'm just a man that dresses and looks like a woman. Or tries to look like a
Do
woman
you
at the
think
very
that
least.
sex and gender are different, just so that I'm following?
I don't believe in gender identity as a concept. I reject it.
Oh, okay. So the psycho aspect you don't accept. Got it.
So, but
The
that's
what
kind of
aspect?
problematic because it's
Psychological psycho.
that's
Well,
problematic
okay. Here's
for multiple reasons because it has developed. The idea of being separate from sex has evolved multiple times across human history without any linkage to each other. So this is very clearly something that is possible to be seen, and because it's a
here's the
cultural
thing.
thing, it means that there can't be any sort of right or wrong, unless if you're going to hold
Okay.
that cultures can be right and wrong about this.
Here's the thing.
Just to add something really, really quickly. God, why do I forget things when I need to remember them the most? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'll
no
butt
problem.
in if I remember.
No problem. Here's the thing, right? There's no real aspect of life that I could think of where I place more of a emphasis on someone's identity as opposed to what their reality is, right? What you really believe internally.
Is it okay if I butt in real quick?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. So, transgender people do not deny the sex that they are. So, if you think a trans woman who is a male denies that they are a male, you would be incorrect because they do accept and acknowledge that fact.
Mm-hmm.
If you think a trans man who is a female denies that they are female, then that is incorrect because we accept what our sex is. If you think that an intersex trans person it does not accept that they're intersex, you would be wrong because they understand that they're intersex, right? So I just want to make that one point clear, like abundantly clear as well. We do acknowledge who we are. We're not living in literal delusion. Like, we know who we are, what our sex is, and what our gender is.
Okay, so one problem with that I have is that you say sex and gender are different, and that you know what sex you are and you don't pretend otherwise. You know the deal. The problem is when you take gender and your identity and you equate it to the actual biological sex, and then you say, for all intents and purposes,
Trans people
society
aren't doing that.
well, when you say trans women are women and you discount women that are uncomfortable when men are in the women's bathroom, and when
You
you
mean
say
trans women?
well, here's the thing. I
Yes or
kind of
no? Do
see
you mean trans women in that
if that's
sentence?
yeah, sure, if that's what
Okay,
you'd
go
like to
ahead.
call them. But when
Continue.
trans women are in the bathroom, and whether you think it's justified or not, when women are uncomfortable, you discount their uncomfortableness or their fears or their anxiety about seeing male appendages in the locker room, for example, of a gym.
Oh, because
It
we said
happens.
that's okay?
Well, this is what your ideology has been leading to, and there's documented cases of this.
Listen
So,
really quickly. So, God, sorry. Again, with forgetting things when it's most important. Like, you're just essentially, this isn't what I was going to say, but this is another important observation. You're just essentially asserting a lot of our beliefs without asking what we actually believe and see. So that's something I wanted to point
hold
out.
on,
But again,
hold on.
if I remember, I'll let you know.
Are trans women women?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because the definition of transgender is when your sex does not align with your gender, and being male and being a woman does not align. It's incongruent.
But what about a man who goes on hormone therapy and all that stuff? What about them makes them a woman?
So men don't go on hormone therapy, like as far as feminizing hormone therapy, like estrogen and spironolactone, things like that. They don't do that. Only trans women would do that. And can you repeat your question real quick?
What makes them a woman?
Okay,
So
what
if you
makes
can
them a
call them
woman?
men
Got it.
transitioning into
So
women, or you can call them
it
trans
doesn't
women,
it
what makes them
doesn't
a woman?
it doesn't even need to involve medical transition. What makes them a woman, you can deny self-ID all you want. But gender is a biopsychosocial construct, okay? And the biopsycho aspect is not something that can be ignored. These people are biologically the sex that they are, and like they have biological brain differences based on the fact, let me finish, based on the fact that they're trans. And they also know who they are because everybody, trans or cis, all of our gender identities typically develop between the ages of 3 and 7. So like at that point we just know who we are.
Okay.
And you can't necessarily tell us who we are, especially if it's not actually who we are.
Okay. So even better for my problem with the trans community. So you say it's not even about hormones, it's not even about medical journeys or anything like that. It's strictly self ID. What are they identifying as? So they're identifying as women, but what are they identifying as? Does that make sense?
So if I
Who they
say
are? Sorry.
yeah, so if I say picture woman in your head, I'm pretty sure you have an idea of like what a woman is, correct?
Sure.
So everybody's gonna grow up a little bit differently and have different ideas of what a woman are. It's gonna be based off of what they see as being important to a woman. It might not be, necessarily always the Like, they might follow into, like, stereotypical things sometimes, and that's, that's fine, because, like, we are shaped by our society around us. We can only interpret and make assumptions about things based off of how we've experienced them. So it's going to be identifying as a woman based off of what they find as important to them.
So it's picking and choosing the most important parts to an individual of what a woman is and adopting that?
I mean, you do that yourself. You think that physiology is the most important thing that makes a woman a woman.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what makes a woman a woman. It's the best definition that exists for what a woman is.
Female a female?
What makes it?
You aren't differentiating these things.
Typically, XY chromosomes, the large gametes, or denoting those characteristics, I guess. But
XY chromosomes and large gametes
or XX
do not line
chromosomes.
up.
My apologies. XY is men. I mixed that up. That's fair. I mixed that up.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I mixed that up. I meant XX. Yeah.
So yeah, there's some. It's well, I agree that this is like typically the case. And historically we've used gender in this way. That doesn't mean that this is actually a really great way to define it. Based off of the fact that we do know that there are transgender individuals, because we know that they exist. When we try to get rid of them, they just keep popping up, and they pop up around the world throughout history for all of recorded history. So, like,
nobody is denying the existence of gender dysphoria. All I'm asking you is to acknowledge the reality of that situation, which is that if you're a man with gender dysphoria, that doesn't make you a woman. It just makes you a man with gender dysphoria. If you're a woman with the same thing, it doesn't make you a man. It just makes you a woman with gender dysphoria. And you can cope with that however you please. You can take whatever medications you need, or you can tell yourself whatever you need to feel better about it. But at the end of the day, there is a biological and objective reality to what you are and who you are.
Yes.
And I literally told you that we accept our sex.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't in practice and in your operation of society. That's my thing. Is if we're
sex is a practice now? Wow.
Yeah, so hold on here. So two things. First off, transgender individuals, they don't reject their biological realities. They understand what's in their pants. I think that if anything, they actually understand it much better than normal people or transgender or cisgender individuals do. Secondly, you absolutely do not need to have gender dysphoria to be trans. Both the DSM-5 and ICD-11 agree with me on this.
Why would you transition to another gender if you don't have gender dysphoria?
Because it makes you feel more comfortable. You don't have to have you don't have to have a medically significant amount of distress in order to feel more comfortable, being a woman within society. That just doesn't mean that you have to go through things such as like cross-sex hormones and or surgeries.
Aren't you some level of uncomfortable with your gender if you're transitioning into another one? You're just totally content, but
listen, Thomas, for clarity,
that doesn't sound
we are
right.
we are not transitioning into another gender. We are transitioning our bodies to match the gender that we have always been.
Okay,
to be clear.
That's fine, but that doesn't align with reality. So when you say, for all intents and purposes, trans women ought to be treated exactly the same as women.
How does that not align with reality? Just because a woman is a male versus a woman being a female doesn't mean they're not. Why? Why does science have two different definitions for sex and gender? Why isn't it the same?
Because that's a captured interest at that point, in my opinion.
Would you find it surprising that
I think there's political motivations behind it. I think that
we'll let the host speak real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
He started to speak.
Yeah, what political motivations? Getting people to be accepted for who they are. Yeah, I damn think that our politics should reflect that.
But you're not asking me to accept people for who they are. You're asking me to accept people for who they aren't. Is the problem.
So here's the problem: is that you're saying that these people aren't what they are. We know that transgender individuals don't have a choice. This is something that is innate to them. We know that people are going to feel uncomfortable if we try to pull them, like try to make them be a gender that they're not. Gender is not something you have control over. We have things such as twin studies and a long history of abusing trans people, trying to force them the way that we to fit within society. That shows that this is not something that we should be doing. We need to accept individuals for who they are, and that's what the science backs.
So if you want to be honest about who they are a man or woman who has a mental condition of some sort.
No,
I won't
so-
even call it an illness, although I think it's debatable.
Well, so
It's
DSM-5
not an illness. You can
explicitly-
debate
Well, I
that,
don't
but it's
know.
not.
If you look in the mirror and you unalive your, or you get depressed or anxious because of what you see, you have some what you see not lining up with your mind. You have some, like for example, a bulimic person or a person with
No. Those are not analogous. Don't go down
Why
that
not?
route.
Why are they
Period.
not?
They are not
Why not?
analogous. Because
do you know what the largest
identifying as sorry, go ahead, I guess.
Yeah, so do you know what the largest predictor of suicidal ideation is among transgender individuals?
No, tell me.
It's the lack of family support. The lack of family support also leads to poor mental health, substance abuse, and adverse life outcomes. And we have very good evidence showing that when parents actually do support their transgender children, the children do much better. Their depression rates are among their cisgender peers, and their anxiety levels are only marginally above their peers. So what this shows is that if you support your child and who they are, that they're happy, they live normal lives. It is the actual act of saying that no, you're not who you are that causes the high suicidal rate. It causes the depression. It causes the anxiety. Because go figure, people want to live as who they are, and they want to be accepted for that.
Okay, and they can get to do that, but they don't get to dictate what I see in them or what I believe is a man or a woman. They don't get to do that either.
Listen, Thomas.
When your opinions cause harm, society does.
They don't listen, Thomas. We do not get to tell you how you quote unquote believe other people to be. We don't get to tell you if you have a scientific understanding just enough so to accept trans people as who we are. We don't need all of that, okay? If you why do I keep forgetting my train of thought halfway through? It's a tough night, apparently.
But clearly you do need that, though, because...
Thomas, we do this for ourselves. It has nothing to do with anybody else. We do this for ourselves.
You say it has nothing to do with anybody else, but the second anybody else gets invoked, you say that's the reason you guys unalive yourself so much.
Okay, mute up, Thomas. So you can choose to say and believe whatever you want to say and believe, and however you want to act. You get to choose that. It doesn't stop us from determining what kind of person you are based on that speech, on those actions, and on those thoughts. Okay? You can be a bigoted asshole towards trans people. You can be a transphobic dick. Go for it. We're all here to listen and to probably record to make sure that the rest of your community knows the fool you make of yourselves. Go for it. We can't control you. You are right in that sense. But it says a lot more about you than it does about us, how you react and respond to these situations. That's what I was going to say. Thanks for listening, even though I had to mute you. Go ahead.
I only continued talking because you said you lost your train of thought, first of all. At no point was I intending to interrupt. If your mental health relies on people lying to you, that is not a healthy lifestyle. And you ought to check that out.
That's not the lifestyle we're looking for.
If your
we're looking for the
lifestyle-
truth. Okay, listen, if you misgender people, you are lying to them constantly. If you gender them correctly, you are actually telling them the truth.
That's not what reality says is the problem.
No,
Hold on.
you don't agree with
Let's just-
science,
let me
sir.
just-
Go ahead, Stowe.
I'm gonna go on a
Science says
different
there's
line
only
of
two
questioning here
sexes.
too. what makes you the sole determiner of what is
Whoa,
right
there
and
are
what?
only two sexes? I'm so sorry. I'm gonna hold on to that thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, there definitely isn't, because we've already brought up how like people in India and South Asia have come up with their genders, along with Native Americans in North and South America who have actually come up with
I
this
said
idea
sexes.
independently. Oh well, sexes, yeah. If
Yeah,
you
we
are,
were talking about sexes, not
okay,
genders. It's a bimodal
yeah.
spectrum, is what I was referring to.
Yeah, there's no one single like trait that you could like. If you look at the height of individuals, there's a middle where they're both males and females that fit this category. You could look at any single any sort of way of determining um like any sort of aspect of humans, and you'll find that there's this middle category of males and females being both in the middle, having like the same height or the same weight or the same amount of this hormone or that hormone or anything like that. This means that it's necessarily a bimodal spectrum, not a binary.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you could take the most feminine man and they'll still be a man, and then you could take the most masculine woman and they'll still be a woman.
In some cases.
So even if there's a spectrum of traits associated with that sex, at the end of the day, there's a line in the middle. And at the
What
end
do
of
you
the day,
mean by that?
If you
well,
arbitrarily
like I
draw
said,
one,
so
yeah.
like it's not arbitrary though. It's just based on biology.
So what at what point do women or do females no longer become females?
Women or females are always females. It's not something
Yeah,
they stop becoming.
But at what point do you draw the line where you say that somebody with these traits is a male and versus a female? Because that line is drawn
When they have
completely arbitrarily.
when they have all of the traits associated with being a female, barring some incidental anomaly.
You think all intersex people are incidental anomalies?
Yes, they are genetic anomalies, and most of them end up being,
Okay,
becoming one of
just
the
like
sexes.
just like trans people are about the same population as redheads are, believe it or not, intersex people are also just about the population of redheads in
Okay, yeah, so
society.
a very rare
And I'm not
proportion of
finished
the
speaking.
population.
Thomas, I'm not finished speaking. And most people don't know their intersex until they're adults, and some people don't even know their intersex for their entire lives. So we don't
Yes.
even actually know how many intersex people there are in the world.
Do you know why they don't know that they're intersex? Because their biology still dictates that they get predominated by one of the sexes. That's why.
So where do you draw that
Depends on what you mean by
biological
that.
line?
Sorry,
How do
go
you
ahead.
determine that? Because like even
Well,
if
it's
you were to
by
say
the
that like males have an SRY gene, that's like still kind of arbitrary, because like at what point do we say that somebody has an SRY gene? When it's functional, when it's not, when it's partial? Like this is very arbitrary. It's very gradual. It's not a black and white binary of having an SRY gene or not.
You know, my problem with this argument is it feels like you guys are like kind of playing stupid, in that we all know that you take the totality of the genetic traits, and those are the genetic makeups of a woman or a man.
No, sex has five. First of all, sex has 5 different characteristics. Genetics ultimately accounts directly for one of the 5. Secondly, I have a question for you, if that's okay.
Sure.
What sex and or gender do you think that I am?
Oh, this is.
I don't know. I don't see a picture or anything. Based on your voice, I would say you were. I don't know.
Confuzzled.
Just give it your best guess.
I don't know. You could be a woman on testosterone, or you could be a very effeminate man.
Just pick one for your own sake. Like, which one do you think that I am?
Do a bass. Like
bass?
going like a really low tone.
Like that's to fry my voice, but like I can speak like lower like this, like and I think that host,
so I think you're a woman on testosterone.
For comparison, host has a higher pitched voice than I do.
So if I had to guess, I'd say you're a woman on testosterone.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
If I had to guess, I don't know.
Thanks for guessing.
Was I right?
Effort.
Ashley, do you have anything to add? You've been up here, and we've just been...
Yeah, hi, by the way.
Hey.
Hi.
I just don't have anything to say at the moment. I'm just listening until I can bring up perfect timing to speak.
Got it. Just making sure we're not just railroading you.
No, it's fine.
I do know that KMC wants up too, so we'll see if what. Hey K, could I get agent pronouns just for TikTok terms of service reasons?
I'm 44 and I am she, her.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything to add?
I love the green hair. I'm so sorry for interjecting at the beginning, but I just love it. I just have to say that.
Everybody's got to be individual, right?
Indeed.
Now, can I say something?
Yeah.
I
Maybe?
I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't offend. But like,
Well, then don't
Just
say it.
stay respectful.
okay. It's pretty apparent to me, right? Just based on the profile picture. For example, KMC is definitely a man that is transitioning or has transitioned to try to appear as a woman.
I don't try to appear as anything.
That's hard to believe.
Well, I've got a little unicorn right beside me that gives me wishes and grants me everything. Do you believe that?
Probably not the case, no.
Well, why not?
Because unicorns aren't real.
Well, I believe that you are transphobic.
Okay, that's fine.
What's your definition on women then?
An adult human female.
What is that?
An adult human female. It's all. Do those
What
words
is
really
that?
need definition?
Yeah,
An
well,
adult is
you're
a
kinda
human being
using a
that's
very
mature.
lazy
A human being
definition
is a
of-
Homo sapien. A female
What's a
is
Homo sapien?
someone with XX chromosomes that has all of the traits
Oh!
associated with being a female.
Right, what's the traits of associated being with a female?
Having a vagina, larger amounts of estrogen naturally, larger breasts.
So everything that you've described, well, what was that you described? Sexual characteristics.
Yeah, sex characteristics, that's true.
Right. So you've actually never read a book?
I mean, I've read some, but maybe not the same ones you do.
Well, the one I've got right in front of me is Exploring Psychology, Worlds, Thinking, Feeling and Doing. I'm also a trained psychologist and I say you're wrong.
See, I don't care about what people feel inside. I care about
I'm
their
not saying what
objective
feelings.
reality.
I'm saying to you that the facts speak for themselves, and the facts are telling me and telling everybody else in this world you're wrong.
Like, are you a psychologist, Thomas?
Was I wrong in my guess though?
Yes or no?
No,
Are
you
you a
are wrong in your guess.
psychologist?
I don't think I am.
Okay,
Wait,
good to know.
It doesn't matter
Hi.
what you think.
Hi.
The books and the research and science are pro-trans.
Yeah, that's great.
So are you actually telling me that everybody else in this world, the WHO, the APA, the British Psychological Association, are all wrong and you're right?
Yes,
Holy fuck.
100%.
You're one person. You're telling me that every peer-reviewed medical and psychology expert across the world are wrong, and you're right.
Yeah, if they don't know what a man is or what a woman is, then they're wrong. Yes. I have no problem saying that. And I think it's sad that a layperson could be more correct on this topic than very large institutions, but it's the case.
I've just literally told you. You are telling me that the WHO,
yes,
the British Psychological Association, the APA, the American Psychological Association, are wrong, and you're right.
Yes, all wrong and most likely motivated by political aspirations.
Yes, and you think that trans people are delusional?
I can't argue with thickness.
That's
By
hilarious.
definition, they are.
I can't argue with somebody that doesn't want to grapple with proven science.
Yeah, but if these institutions told me 2 + 2 = 5, I would say they're wrong too. So if they're wrong about something so basic, I have no problem saying they're wrong.
It's not basic.
It's very
Gender and
basic.
sex are not basic.
It's very basic. That's why I was able to tell, with all due
Well, maybe
respect,
it's
that you're
basic for you
biologically
because
a
you're a
man
basic
within 2
human
seconds of
being.
looking at you. With all due respect.
I'm sorry, but I'm a woman, and that's
You said you weren't trying to be a woman.
I never said I'm trying to. I am. There's a difference in
But
words.
you were born a man, weren't you?
I was what?
You were born a man, weren't you, or boy?
I would no. Nobody's born men.
Or boy.
Were you born male?
I was assigned male at birth. Yeah.
Okay. So how was I able to tell that within 5 seconds of looking at you?
You tell me.
Because there's an objective reality to your situation, and it doesn't get, and your internal feelings don't get to override.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump on that. I'm doing like a quickly 2 minutes. I agree with the KMC. No worries. And I just wanted to answer Thomas, even though he get down. I just want to make sure Thomas understood that he can tell whatever he wants and trust his own truth or whatever his own belief. At the end of the day, Thomas, you're gonna go out in the real life and you're gonna call trans people that you don't even guess they're trans people because they get the privilege of cis passing. You're gonna call them mem if they're mem and men if they're men. Like, if they have the privilege of cis passing, at the end of the day, you can be transphobic. You're gonna gender them right, and
using
there's
selective
no need.
essentialism.
Wait, there's no need to being transphobic online and explain like biology talk and blah 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 and the bathroom talk and the sport talk, because at the end of the day, you're gonna gender them correctly. And I'm sure you've met some of the trans people in your social circle, whatever, that you don't even guess they're trans because they got, again, the privilege of cis passing. But my point, and then I'm going down, I'm sorry, but my point was like conclusion, and I'm sorry for my English, I'm French.
No problem.
Conclusion, at the end of the day, you're, even if you're transphobic as fuck and the right wing and all that shit, you're gonna gender trans people correctly. If again they got the privilege of the cis passing, you'll never fucking guess you got around trans people some part of the time. Because spoiler alert, they're not like all blue hair and weird and dressing weird and having nails and blah blah blah. Like, at the end of the day, you're gonna call your mate a mate and you don't even guess they have a pussy. That's the point. So I'm tired of hearing transphobic people going up on live saying like, we can always tell and biologically blah blah blah. Bitch, at the end of the day, I'm in the same school as you, and you don't even think I could be trans because I have a beard and a deep voice and I'm muscular and I'm 1 meter 80 and blah blah blah. So Thomas, spoiler alert, you're transphobic only online, because at the end of the day, on the real life, you've met trans people and you could never tell.
Yeah.
That's the point.
So I'll tell you a story. I mean, you guys, it's an anecdote, so you can put as much stake in it as you want. But the other day, I was walking through my student union, and I saw someone who was very clearly a 65-year-old man. I would say 65, maybe he was a little older, balding, in a dress, and wearing makeup. And my first reaction was, "Who are you fooling, dude?" So I agree with you. Look.
But we're
I'll
not
say
like
this.
him. Like, that's a unique experience.
Hold on. So let me get to my point.
Holy
it was
shit,
a monologue,
the
and I sorry.
transphobia there. Just holy shit. It's just blatant at this
Well,
point.
don't believe your lying eyes is what you're telling me.
But when you talk about trans, you talk about like the bald guy wearing dress, blah, blah. We're not all like that. And meaning it's okay to be a bold ass man 65 wearing dress, because at the end of the day, we don't fucking care. And just let me add that, and then I shut the fuck up and I cut my mic, I promise. Let me add that. At the end of the day, people like you, we meet them in the fucking app. Like, I'm sure y'all are from the US and blah blah or UK, you know that app. At the end of the day, people like you, Thomas, that have like transphobic discourse like that. We met them in the grinder, and they call themselves discreet men because they love that shit. They love fucking trans people. They love fucking gay people. They love fucking like that. If you have a problem with LGBTQ community, it's because you feel part of it. You just hate it because of the system. That's the fact. Because if you were good educated, you would know that whatever people do with their life, if they're 65, bold ass, muscular, wearing red dress at the Met Gala, at the end of the day, we don't give a fuck. And let me tell you, I promise you, Thomas, I promise you, one of your brother, one of your dad, one of your uncle, one of your best friend, whatever, they love that shit. They love that shit. So like I think we should all grow up and act like we don't give a fuck what people actually do with their life. We just should give everyone self-care, okay? Because I guess again, you are in USA. In France, it's free healthcare for everyone. So I know y'all gotta step for that. But like at the end of the day, baby, it's gonna happen anyway.
Okay.
That's literally like abortion. Like trans people exist since like destiny. They exist in like tribu before
Okay.
internet, before all that. Trans people are more existing because of YouTube video, because of TikTok video. Baby, they were existing even before internet happened. Like there is literally like
Okay.
before like even Jesus Christ or religion happened. And I'm not gonna bring religion into that because there's no point. But at the end of the day, baby, you're gonna meet trans people you can't guess, and
Okay.
you're gonna gender them correctly. So
So
you being out here transphobic on the live, but in real life, gendering trans people that you can't even guess and
okay.
gendering them correctly
So
is hypocrite as fuck. And I'm sorry, I'm cutting my mat. I'm listening to
okay.
you, but I'm sorry. That's the
Okay.
truth.
So I will say if there was someone that was trans and I happened to gender them correctly, all that would really mean is that they have a better costume than other trans people do.
That's an absolute. That's
They
lies.
just had better surgeons, or the hormones took better, or whatever the case. But that doesn't make them any more of a woman or less of a man.
Why
So
shouldn't you
if I
just
just don a when Heidi Klum wears a costume that makes her look really like a worm, she's not a worm. She just has really good makeup artists.
So what you're doing is selective essentialism, and it's really bad.
Okay. That's great. No, but I mean, I just and look, I think, whatever that guy's name is, Raphael.
I assume that's what it is.
So whatever they were saying, I feel like me and him were not that far off. And I'll say him to be respectful. I have my suspicions, but it's okay.
Well, he wasn't transphobic, and you are. You're way off.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I am not against letting people live and let live, right? If you
You're
have
lying.
gender dysphoria, right?
Gender
Or
dysphoria is an old term. It's not called that anymore.
even
Under the ICD-11, it's called gender incongruence.
The DSM-5 still does advise it.
And I have a book here that actually states that.
I would assume they essentially mean the same thing.
No, they don't.
Sort yeah.
Why not?
Like the DSM-5 still labels it, but I bet you in the DSM-6 we're gonna actually change it to conform more with what the ICD-11 says, because the ICD-11 is more up to date.
So because one institution just arbitrarily changes the name of something, all of a sudden,
it's
pretty arbitrary. I don't know.
It's called evolution. You should look it up.
Yeah, there's a good reason why we removed homosexuality from the DSM and ICD. We just figured out it's not actually something that's wrong. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, the DSM-4 took it out.
Yeah. We were spooked by this, and then we figured out that it actually wasn't unnatural. It was in fact something...
homosexuality and transgenderism are always going to be two very different things for me. And I'll tell you why.
Sort of,
because
but they've both been marginalized by society is the point.
Sure. And I agree. Look, I mean, in my country, the Supreme Court, last year, issued extensions of anti-workplace discriminations, in hiring practices. I agree with that. I don't think someone should be just denied employment simply on the basis that they're trans.
Did you know that in Albania there was a tradition that women used to renounce their womanhood to take on masculine roles and live as men?
Women used to what?
Did you know in Albania, right, there was a tradition in which women used to renounce their womanhood and take on masculine roles? Did you know that?
Oh, that's great. That doesn't make them men, though. That just makes them women taking on masculine roles.
Did you not hear what I said? I'll repeat it. In Albania, there was a tradition in which women renounced their womanhood to take on masculine roles and live their lives as men.
Yeah, and did you hear what I said? I said that doesn't make them men. They were women still. You can renounce whatever you want.
I'm actually surprised you said that.
Why? That feels pretty
Because you
consistent.
didn't listen to a flipping word I said.
You said that in Albania there were women that renounced their womanhood and took on traditional masculine roles, and they lived their lives as men. That was pretty accurate, right? And
No.
my response to that is those women, even if they renounce their womanhood and even if they live their lives as men and do masculine things, doesn't make them men. There's just women doing those things.
It's cultural, though, isn't it?
No, it's biological.
No?
Yeah.
It's biological.
Because no matter what that culture says,
Is
those are
man a
still women.
biological term or is it a gender term?
Is man?
Yeah, is man a biological term or is it a gender term?
I would say up until 10 years ago, it was a biological term.
10 years ago? What about in the 1950s?
Up until about 10 to 15 years ago. And then
Really?
that's when you...
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Right. You should look past the 23 mark.
So really, like, I believe, now you can correct me on my history on this if I'm wrong, but I believe gender as a term was coined in the 1960s. And I believe, at least in American society, from what I've gathered, it was used interchangeably with sex up until about the last 10 to 15 years ago.
Do you want to go fact check that?
I mean, I think that's right, but
I'm
you
not going
can
to be
feel
a
free
fact
to
check
tell
your
me if I'm
claim.
wrong.
That's up to you. The burden of proof lies upon you to check your claim, not me.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm going to go with it as the truth then, because that's what the truth is to the best of my understanding.
Cool, you are right. He is wrong. You
Okay.
realize that there is a mountain of references in history and academia that basically tells you to your face. There's like millions of people that actually say you're wrong.
Millions of people?
Millions of educated, peer-reviewed people that basically say you're wrong. Now these
In
people
what
are older
sense?
than you. They're older than you. They have done dissertations. They've done papers. They've done everything to actually say that they are creditable in their field of biology, sociology, psychology, the whole lot. That basically are saying you're wrong. Are you really going to be that ignorant and arrogant to say that every single one of them are wrong and you're right?
Do they say that men can become women?
Well, answer my question.
If they say men can become women, then yes, I'm arrogant enough to think that I'm more right than them.
So we've established that it doesn't actually matter, regardless of what's actually there. You're going to say that they're wrong, regardless of being the truth slapped in your face.
If they say that men can become women, yeah.
Science is pro-trans. You realize this, yeah? The science is pro-trans, and you're saying that every single... Do you take paracetamol, by the way?
Do I take what?
For a headache, what do you normally take?
Not sure. I haven't had one in a while.
Okay, so when you have typically had a headache, do you take medication to subside that?
Yeah, I take ibuprofen sometimes, I guess.
Right. So so do you say is that you don't really care what the WHO say, right?
On this topic, if they say men can't become women, yeah, I don't really care.
Well, no, you can either agree with the WHO across the board, or you can say no, they're full of crap.
Well, no, that's not true, because sometimes they could say something that's true.
If you're dismissing one, if you reject one claim that the WHO are saying this is truth, this is science, this is proven, you can't say, well, I'm going to take ibuprofen in non-prescribed way. The WHO actually tells you how to take
No,
medication. It
if
actually
I
prescribes.
hold on.
And now what
If
you're doing is you're selective essentialism. You're basically being cognitive dissonant as well.
if I tell you the sky is blue and I'm an Olympic athlete, just because I lied to you about being an Olympic athlete does not mean the sky is not blue. So if an institution tells me, "Hey, take
An
ibuprofen for a headache,"
institution.
well, an institution like the WHO, if an organization or an institution tells me, "Hey, take a pill for this headache," and it works, but then they tell me men can become women, I'm willing to say, yeah, they're totally wrong on the men can become women thing, but this pill for my headache does
Babe,
work.
Wait, hold on.
babe,
But
darling, that's essential. That's selective. That's selective essentialism. It's cognitive dissonance.
What does that
What
mean?
you're,
Selective essentialism.
you're basically picking something and saying that's right and that's wrong, like the whole flipping unicorn that I said.
It's
You are
selective
basically
essentialism to
saying
say
I
there's
will
not a
be
unicorn next to you.
selective. I will be selective in my truths. I will be selective in my truths. But if they give me another truth, no, I'm not going to believe that. You're basically what you're saying is the
But
WHO is
you're
right on
presupposing that it's the
medicine.
truth.
Well, science is pro-trans.
Yeah, and I'm telling you that they're wrong on that if they say men can become women.
Well, they must be wrong about other things then, right?
Sometimes, yeah, they were wrong about COVID in a lot of cases.
the funny thing
Oh
is
my
that they
fucking
were
God.
wrong about trans people before. That's the problem. This is the correction.
Yes.
No, actually, all of human history has been pretty right on this.
No.
All of
You
human
for real,
history is
Thomas?
pretty on the
Where have
side
you
of there
been
being only
living?
men and women.
Yeah, except for the parts where you know we look outside of colonialized parts of the world.
I think there's a difference though, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, based on what I've read in history, that there was always kind of this understanding that, yes, there are men that present as women, but they're not actually women. I feel like what's different about the present moment is that
I
people are
don't think
trying
you're
to
a real
tell me,
man.
people are trying to, what was that?
I don't
Okay.
think that you're a real man.
Oh, that's fine. I don't need to be affirmed because I have reality on my side.
You don't really have reality because you don't even accept the fact that the WHO, a leading peer-reviewed, credible flipping institute, as you call it, says the truth that science is there. You'd rather say, "Oh, I'll take ibuprofen the way it's meant to be prescribed," but I'm not going to listen to any other thing that they're going to say.
Yeah,
Selective essentialism,
but
cognitive dissonance, and you're very insecure.
But what I would say again, you could say, I don't think you're really a man. As a matter of fact, I'll do you one better. I could go outside, and if 100 people called me a woman, what I would not do is break down and cry or be upset that I'm not being affirmed. I would look at them like they're nut jobs. If my friend texted me and he said, "By the way, you're really a man. You're really a man," I would say, "Dude, obviously I'm a man. What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Selective essentialism.
You keep just
You
repeating
will
that
only
buzzword. I
believe.
think you learned it in one of your fancy books, and you don't really elaborate on what it means, and you don't really apply it to the
I did
present
elaborate on me.
situation.
What you're doing is you're taking one thing and
Hmm.
everything else you're just like putting in the bin.
Putting in the
That's
bin.
exactly what I know. I can't believe I had to lower myself to speak to you. That's unreal.
Okay, I can't believe I had the ability to correctly identify exactly your gender situation in 5 seconds.
Excuse
I
me.
can't believe how much I
My
don't care.
gender.
Yeah,
My
I mean,
gender.
clearly you do a little bit. I mean, you've made this live, and you want everyone to accept your delusion.
My
Like,
delusion?
clearly there's
Hold on,
some.
hold on.
Oh, well, whoever's delusion. I don't know.
No, it's
What's a
nobody's
delusion?
delusion. Yeah, like
A
you
little
have
bit.
the burden of proof
If you're a
here,
man,
and this is a medical
if you're a
claim,
man that thinks,
and the
Oh
whole
my
medical
fucking
organizations
God.
disagree
He
with
is.
you.
You are mentally ill. Thomas, you're mentally ill. I
I don't
recommend you
think
go
I'm
see
the
a
mentally ill
psychiatrist.
1K.
You are. You are.
I don't think I am.
If
I
if
think
you
I'm
Well, I
are,
don't
pretty.
care what
if
you
you
think.
think
I'm
that
telling you are.
if you think that you have a better knowledge about things such as trans people than the fucking WHO, I think you have something wrong in your head at that point.
I reject this. I reject this notion that you need some sort of superior expertise to know what a man or a woman is.
No,
I
you have
agree,
to have.
but when it comes down to trans people, we
I
should
think.
trust the
I think.
experts. And the
I
experts are
think
all
you
very
know.
clearly aligned about
I think.
this.
I think every day I go outside and it's very clear to me who's a man and who's a woman.
I think you're lying to yourself.
I think we do it every day, every time, whether you know it or not. You
What's that
profile
called
people
then?
based on the fact that they're a woman or a man every single day. And I think acting like that profiling doesn't exist or acting like that intuition doesn't add up is totally disingenuous.
Your ego, by the way. Do you want to get it in check? I act. I don't act. I don't need to act. I am. I exist. I am. I'm real. Deal with it.
Yeah, you're real, but you're acting like a woman, but you're not.
No, I'm not. I am a woman.
It's debatable.
Nah,
It's
it's not debatable.
to be
That's not
to
for
be
debate.
to be generous to you. I'll say it's debatable.
Well, I don't need you to be generous to me.
Okay. I
Do you mind
thought
if I
I've lived twice the life you have, honey.
what was that?
And
What
I'll
was
probably
that stat
live
about?
the
The
best
number
life.
one reason for unaliving in the trans community is because of lack of support. So clearly, you do need
That
it.
was among children and adolescents. It's
Yeah.
among family
You do
support.
realize that after affirmation,
Well, then what
you
explains
do
the
realize
unaliving
that
rate in trans
after
adults?
what you would call gender affirming care, that
Hypermarginalization.
you do realize, no, you don't, because you never actually don't even know why you attempted that.
You're breaking up, Kay. Can't hear Kay. Well, just to ask Tom a question in the meantime, can you define delusion and how in your non-medical expertise you would go about treating delusion?
I don't have a definition of delusion on me right now, but what I
You
would
don't need a
say is,
definition. I just mean your colloquial understanding of
well,
what a delusion is.
okay, fair enough. My colloquial understanding of delusion is having a conviction in something that's just not based in reality.
Okay. And
Well, that's wrong.
what would you, right, let's say that, all right, we're going to go with it. What would you do to treat that, to make
What
the
I
delusion go away?
I would do everything I can to try to get that person to stop believing in that lack of reality.
Okay. Do you think that it's like a form of psychosis?
I'm not sure.
Do you think it's some kind of psychotic schizophrenia type situation?
I think schizophrenia can result in delusion, but it doesn't have to necessarily be schizophrenic to be delusional.
But inherently, if we're talking about delusion, it would be kind of within the psychotic sort of realm. There's something that's altering reality.
Yeah, so
right?
if you take
So
hallucinogens, this would be you'd be in a psychosis or in a state of psychosis essentially.
yeah, exactly. And I guess my point is there are enough studies at this point of trans people also having things like schizophrenia. And surprise, surprise, when they're given antipsychotic, psychotropic medications, voila, the schizophrenia subsides. And guess what? They're still trans. So this is why I'm trying to get a grasp on where delusion comes into what is it about the reality that trans people are denying exactly? Because I mean, all that I see is someone looking in the mirror and acknowledging exactly what their sex was assigned at birth, and that something doesn't feel right about it. That to me is not a denial of reality, but an awareness of it.
That's fine. They can do that if there is a reality there. You're getting to the truth a little bit in that they feel uncomfortable with what they see in the mirror. That's fine. I don't reject that notion at all. I also don't reject the idea that if they want to, they can take hormones or go through procedures or whatever it takes for them to feel comfortable. If that's what they want to do, they have the right to do it. But what
it's just we don't agree with that because you're transphobic.
What I do reject is the idea that I have to go along with what they're feeling and their coping mechanisms for that feeling in order to appease them.
That in and of itself is a form of a delusion then, because the reality is that someone is telling you who you never met before, I am this. They could tell you that they're a construction worker. They could tell you anything about themselves. And for you to deny what they're telling you is you literally denying reality.
If I have reason to believe that what they're telling me is not in accordance with reality, right? If I see a man in doctor scrubs or nurse scrubs in a hospital tell me he's a lawyer, I will probably say, yeah, that doesn't seem right. So when a trans woman tells me I'm a woman, but again, I see a man, I have reason to believe that they are lying to me.
Can you tell me about what incentive they would have in lying?
Affirming their awkward feelings.
Do you think that we need you to affirm our feelings?
I think you do, yeah, a little bit.
You think you are that egotistical that you think we need you to affirm us?
Well, then what's with the imposition?
Your ego is absolutely... My God, your attitude and ego is insane. You really believe that trans people need individuals like you to affirm ourselves? No, you're wrong.
Right.
I mean,
You're
if you
wrong.
don't...
No, sorry, you're wrong.
Well,
you're wrong.
If you don't care, that's great. We can just go our separate ways. Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal. But I feel like there's an increasing movement to impose these worldviews into our classrooms and into women's private spaces and other things. So,
what's wrong with now?
What was that?
How long ago did you actually learn that there was transgender people in the world?
Probably...
No, be honest. Probably about 3 years ago, right?
No, probably when Caitlyn Jenner came out.
My God.
That's probably when, I mean, honestly, that's probably when I first looked into the topic.
Which was when?
Ooh, what was it? I think it was before Trump's first term. I think it was like 2014 or 15.
2014, 2015, so about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so you've been looking into the topic, I say that with inverted commas, looking into the topic.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
10 years.
I wouldn't say it was like deep research or anything, but.
However, the people that have done peer-reviewed research, and I'm assuming what you think peer-reviewed means. I'm assuming you know what peer-reviewed means.
Yeah, sure.
Right, so people that have been in positions with peer-reviewed research who have done it nearly 4 decades longer than you are wrong, and you're right.
Yes, I've been over this with you.
Fuck, yes. I'm out. Bye, I can't argue with idiots.
Yeah, that's fine.
Blame me, Kay.
I do appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you guys having me.
I didn't have a conversation. I don't converse with people that can't articulate correctly and don't want to recognize that they'll happily take ibuprofen, but they'll reject everything else that a peer-reviewed scientific flipping institute is there to do. You need help, pal.
They won't trust reputable.
You need freaking help.
Right, they won't trust reputable science, but when Republicans spend a grand total, along with Elon Musk, of $400 million on anti-trans propaganda the last decade, that's what they believe. They believe in transgender mice. They believe in all of these things that literally have been funneled so much money to make you believe. And you're going to deny the experience of the actual person telling you, but you're going to believe Elon Musk, who has an estrangement from his trans daughter because he denies reality.
Hold on. If you believe that the opposition to transgenderism is politically captured, but you think the support of it is just pure and only scientific, you're fucking delusional, and you fucking
why? Science is there for a reason. So you're basically what you're saying is that science is bullshit and whatever you say is correct.
A lot of science is bullshit, yeah.
The origin
you actually fucking serious?
A lot of science is bullshit, yeah.
You said that you were a student, yeah?
Oh, it's dope.
Yeah, I am a student.
What are you studying?
That's none of your business. I don't want to disclose that, but I am a student in grad school.
Okay.
Well, you need to change frickin' school.
No, I quite like where I am.
Why won't you tell us what you study? That doesn't feel
I'd rather not. I try to keep my anonymity.
Yeah, I too.
What?
Online in general.
What are you in a major that like only 5 people are in? I mean,
I mean, it's
wait a minute.
Okay.
It requires an application, so I try to keep my online activity without my real name or any identifying things.
Okay. So let me just ask that one more time. So every major medical and scientific authority agrees that trans is there, right? The World Health Organization, the American Psychological Association, the British Psychological Association, the NHS, these are all peer-reviewed evidence, not ideology. You're saying that they're all wrong and you're right. Are you saying that?
Hold on, can I ask
yes
you a question?
Or no? No,
yes,
you can
I
answer
am.
mine first.
Yes, I
you
am.
are. Holy
Yeah.
fucking shit.
Yeah. So can I ask you, is it true that it's every study comes out in support of what you're saying, or are there some studies out there that maybe show otherwise?
You didn't even hear what I said. The majority
No, you said
of
every.
medical, I says every major medical and scientific authority agrees that trans is real. Real.
I
Not.
don't even know that I would say trans isn't real. I think there's people out there that have an incongruity with their biological sex and their mental
Go and say that
feelings.
again. Go and say that word again.
But
What was that word? Incon what? Incon what?
incongruency.
So not dysphoria then.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, which
incongruency
one
can
is
be
it? Is it an
dysphoria too.
incongruence or is it dysphoria?
Those aren't mutually exclusive terms. But look,
Well, you're using both, and we don't know which one is flipping right.
they're kind of interchangeable in my opinion, honestly.
Really?
You
So does
can-
that mean that
yeah,
sex and gender
honestly,
is
for
the
the
same in your
purposes
book
of
as
this
well, then?
conversation, yeah.
So you're saying that to me that sex and gender is the same?
No. Oh, well, I don't believe in gender really.
Holy
If
fucking!
I'm going to
Oh
be
my
honest with
god!
you.
Is this
I
the
think
level of education that you're
I
getting
think
taught?
I mean, I know about the concept of gender, I just don't agree with it.
Right. So then that means you don't. Do you agree with every concept, or is it just the one about gender?
There's some concepts I agree with in the world, there's some I don't.
Of course you do. It's like the WHO with the ibuprofen thing, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pretty similar, yeah.
Oh, I can't. Oh my god! You do
Yeah.
realize that science seeks to like fail on hypotheses, right?
Sure.
Right. So they want to find a failure within every single thing that they actually research. They want to find failure in it.
Yeah, in
They
its
can't. They
purest
didn't
form,
find.
that would be the case, but
Failure.
I don't
They
I
didn't
don't
find failure in transgenderism.
you assign
They
a
didn't
sort of
find it.
you assign a sort of purity and perfectness to science and the scientific process that I don't think is true.
Well, I mean, it really
you
can
maybe should go
depend
back
on
in the box,
the
Thomas.
yeah, like it can depend on the type of science you're being presented with. Like if you sit here and deny quantitative research, I really don't know what to tell you because that's just math, you know? It's like one of those things that is empirical. It's not something where like if you repeat it, it's going to be all that different. So, I mean, when people are doing like case studies, I could understand. Yeah, it's like basically a collection of anecdotes, and you look for patterns. But when it comes to like, you know, a peer-reviewed study that's focused on percentages of like, you know, what treatment works where for what ages, it's going to be as accurate as it can be. And the
Yeah.
idea is that the contributors to the research are trying to limit as many biases as possible, which is why peer review exists in the first place. So if there is a bias, they have to name it as being a conflict of interest of some kind.
Mhm. So you've got to one thing that makes me question the science on this particular topic, which is, you know, political motivations and who's funding the specific institution or organization. That's one. The other problem I have with a lot of this research is that it's very new. I don't, you know, it's hard for me to find like a really long-term study on like, you know, how transgender people are doing, because this is a relatively new topic in the mainstream. The other problem I have with the science surrounding this is a lot of it does rely on self-reporting, right? Like when we talk about emotional states, when we talk about you know, perceived happiness or well-being, you know, those aren't typically the most reliable studies. It's not that.
So
So
how long are we talking here? Like you're saying it's recent, so how recent are we talking? Just so I can get a grasp on what your recent is, because you're 23, 22.
I mean, I would like to see like a 70-year-long study.
So how about from the late 1800s to the early 1900s?
Late 1800s to the early 1900s, was that like, we thinking like 30
There's a
years?
German physician called Magnus Hirschfeld that founded the Institute of Sexual Science in 1919, and he documented trans people gender variants and provided probably the first gender affirming care. 1919. Is that good enough for you? Or how about in the 1950s and 1970s, an endocrinologist called Harry Benjamin formalized clinical understanding and treatment? I've got this in a book that's right in front of me that's peer reviewed. Right? So is that long enough for you? Or should we go to the 1980s and 2000s?
It's old
The
enough for me,
Statistical
but
Manual of Mental
it's
Disorders, Diagnostic Manuals, where they reframed the whole of transgenderism. This is all science, and it's all over
it's
70 years old.
it's old enough
So
for me, but it's not long enough term of a study for me. Like I would like to see one that spans the lifetime of a trans person, for example, or thousands of trans people. That would be pretty good, you know.
you mean the ones
We
that the
just don't have that.
WHO have got?
What was that?
The ones that the WHO have got, yeah?
Right.
How long do those studies go?
Well, what is your how long do they need to go for you to accept them? Put it that way. Because you
I
can't
don't
even
have
accept that flipping the WHO is a thing.
I don't have a specific number of years in mind. I would,
Well, you said 70 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. I mean, that would be good. That'd be ideal. Maybe something over 60 years, 55 years, something like that. With like a good sample size and things like that.
What's a good sample size?
Usually, what is it like? Well, the larger the sample size, the better. But probably 1,500, 2,000 people.
I mean,
And do you think they don't exist?
I have not seen them if they do, and I'd be happy to read them if you have them.
Well, look, I'm not waiting to do your education. You need to do that yourself.
They don't exist. Yeah. So
how do they not exist? Because you've not looked, and I have, and I've got a book in front of me. I've got 2 books in front of me.
But you've just said
that you're a liar.
Yeah. So
I
my
do not
proposition
need
was
to prove your claim. That is on you, not on me. You can't shift the burden of proof onto me because you can't be asked looking for flipping evidence.
Well, no. My claim is
No,
just
you
that
can't.
I have not seen any research that spans that long of a time.
That's because you can't see past your own eyes.
Okay. All right. Well, if that wraps up the conversation, I do appreciate all you guys having me. It was a good talk, in my opinion. Live your life. Do whatever you want. Don't tell me how to live mine. Thank you.
You fucking hypocrite.
don't tell me how to live my life.
I honestly, I'm really sorry, but I
fatal
cannot
blunder.
discuss
I let
this type of subject
phone
when
on.
people can't even recognize institutes.
Hi, Nova. I'm sorry. I'm sorry he ran.
Oh, dang.
It's okay. I'll say it again. Ugh, people. I was just gonna go and bring up just all of the let's see, there's ones that are 40 years with 6,000 people, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was from and the largest it was a retrospective study with 6,793 people, trans people spanning more than 40 years from the largest Dutch gender clinic, treating more than 95% of all trans people in the country, 0.6% of trans women, 0.3% of trans men experience regretful gonadectomy. But for many, the regret wasn't even a result of the actual effects of the surgery, but because the stigma they face in their family and community.
Exactly.
He said somebody that was lived their whole life, and I'm literally talking to him. I'm 44. I'm 4.5 decades freaking old. I'm literally saying to you, here's a case study.
I don't think that he would take seriously other confounding factors that could take place over the span of 60 years. Like, for instance, a political, onslaught of the trans community. I mean, I feel like if people have to live through events like that, it's going to skew the results of, well, for how many years did you feel like you could live congruently? Well, it's if it was like a life or unalive situation, probably not as much as they wanted to, right? I mean, there are just so many things that could affect a longitudinal mapping of it. It's just ask adults their experience. Like you said, Kay, it's like you survived. You're here. You're a breathing person. You can tell them how you feel.
There was also a longitudinal analysis of all applications for gender affirming surgery in Sweden from 1960 to 2010, where there was only a 2.2% regret rate. And the regret rate
Wow.
refers to the application to retransition to their assigned gender at birth. One of the things that's interesting is that regret rates actually become rarer as time goes on. It was speculated that this is due to like things such as better surgical procedures and more accepting environment. That's pretty clear. And it's interesting to look at like the people who had regrets from 1960 to 1970 versus those who have a regrets rate from 2000 to 2010.
Exactly.
There's literally one that I'm reading now that says there's a study of transition outcomes in gender. Sample size 6,000 transgender participants over many demographics with mental health and mental conditions as well. So it wasn't even just like, how do you manage to like keep your cool with these rock smashers?
These troglodytes? That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't. I really, I really tip my hat off to every single one of you. This is like one of probably the only lives I've come on because he was actually just standing there.
I think you did fucking fantastic if you ask me. Yeah, you were a little heated, but like you didn't lose your cool. You started just fucking boom, 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 hammering on the points, and that's actually really good. I applaud you if this is like your first time doing this. Fuck, man, or fuck, girl. Sorry, don't mean to misgender. I fucked up. I'm sorry. I'll go hide in the corner now.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. See, I'm from Scotland, and we say man, girl, guys, mate, and it's all general greetings. I'm from Scotland. We're allowed to say that shit and not go, oh, wait a minute, you misgendered me. No, it's just a freaking greeting. No, I'm intelligent enough to know.
Yeah, and I clearly didn't mean to if I did. But like, yeah. So
I don't get it.
You did a great job. You're welcome up here anytime. If there's not many too many people up here, because like. I don't like it when we have like 20 people up here against one because like it just nobody gets to speak then. So
yeah. Well, if you ever see me on and you want help, just like batter that get in my live button.
And by the way, Sophie, thank you so much for having me up.
You're also welcome anytime as well.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
You seem. I mean, you also have like a medical background too, so that helps. So.
Yeah, I'm a therapist. In case anyone was wondering.
It's good having somebody like at least who actually has like a clinical like understanding of this better too, because like I know a lot, but like it helps having somebody be able to say I'm actually gotta have a degree in this, and actually you're wrong.
Yes,
nerd face.
No. I know. I know. I mean, part of the reason why I got the degree and the license was so that I could like have a little ego about it and be like, no, I actually know what I'm talking about.
Damn right. Yeah,
trust
right.
Me.
Damn right.
Yeah, please just trust me. God, like I didn't spend $200,000 for you to not trust me. Like,
and I'm assuming that you trust what the WHO, APA, and every other peer-reviewed like. Absolutely. I can't believe that one person was actually saying, no, I don't trust all that. But you're still going to take medicine, aren't you? Yeah.
Right. And I think that it simplifies so easily to me that when you disaffirm someone telling you who they say they are, they experience extreme distress. When you honor and affirm how someone feels and who they are, they feel better. Amazing.
What a radical idea. Holy shit.
Innovative.
We need to get you in front of the fucking medical field and let them know this. This is some radical shit. Holy shit. I don't know. You've blown my mind. I don't even know. Thank you so much for this radical information.
I'm gonna I know. I'll ruffle some feathers out there, I'm sure, but you know, it's worth it in my opinion, because I think people need to understand that like this is how things work in anything medical. Like we don't do things to make you feel worse.
It's almost like we've learned potentially from our past of like what we shouldn't do. Like we've heard people be like, actually, why don't we just keep harming them? This is working well for them. No, it's fucking not nice.
Well, isn't that just the fucking patriarchy in a nutshell? They like continue to watch men completely implode within themselves through their mental health issues and stress and taking on the world and, I gotta be this big old protector and I gotta protect women in bathrooms. And meanwhile, they're like absolutely caving into themselves. And then you know, it's, I mean, people. Go to therapy is what I meant to say, actually. Go to therapy.
I think everybody, and you'll probably agree with me, I think everybody would benefit from some degree of therapy.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Right? And anybody that denies that is like, you are so dissonant, somebody.
I came up because I disagree with the background, by the way. I don't know what this is about therapy. I don't think therapy is good. I decided I don't believe trans women are women.
Oh,
I don't
is
support
that
gender.
so?
Yeah, I'm a GC.
We could investigate this, but I think that Stowe wants to end live soon.
Yeah, we can go on for
Well, what?
15 minutes. Yeah, I want to end
I
live
would
soon.
really
just 'cause
love
it's-
to go for it, Mama.
I am dropping down. I'm going to leave this to Atropos, and I've already triggered my own self with like the stupidity of that other person. So crack on.
That's
thank you.
so fair.
This is America.
Thank you for coming up today.
I'm a really smart GC.
Oh my
I've
fucking God.
really enjoyed
Even,
having
okay,
you
I'm
today.
gone. Even the whole GC thing is
Bye,
just
Kay.
like, bye. Fucking hell.
Bye. It was
Bye.
really good to like.
How do I get off this?
You're also
How do I get
you're also
off
more
this?
than welcome to drop me as well, because I
Goodbye.
know it's also good for the algorithm. If you drop me,
Yeah,
versus-
before the live ends, but
Yeah.
like stay up, friend, because we're just pretty much saying our goodbyes now.
As an American, I don't claim her.
I'm alive. I'm not letting you end alive without me debating you.
Oh
or
God,
anyone.
Cole mute. Okay, can you repeat that?
I'm
You're
not-
echoing from Cole so badly.
Crispy.
Yeah, that's why I came up. Because yeah, I don't believe in a background, and I'm not gonna let you end alive without me debating. So.
Okay, Cole, do you want to crack at them? Or sorry, Nova, do you want to crack at her? No.
I'm an adult human female. I'm no longer no binary.
I'm just giggling over here. I almost.
Oh,
I
you're
almost.
you're so busy. It's all
Oh.
good.
I almost came at Mama because I didn't know that you were friendly. I was like, wait.
Oh, I am the GC. Almost said the TRA. I am the GC.
Yeah, no, that's kind of why I chimed in, because I didn't know if all of you knew Corrupt or not, so I wanted to like make sure you knew it was sarcasm.
Yeah. So I am the TRA. A lot of the debate topics you see running around on the TRSA came from me. So I am the one only chosen. I'm the chosen one. You guys can call me the chosen one. You guys can work at me.
Chosen one.
Yeah. Address me as the chosen one or mommy. I know. Why are you guys going to bed though? Like we should all have fun and vibe.
I wake up at like 4
It's
a.m. That's
10:45 where I'm at.
It's 10:45 for me too. I just
I
got
need
home.
to eat.
Settings.
East Coast, yeah.
Copy or not that one. Copy that one.
I'm not really on the coast, by the way. I'm just an EST.
If you
the coast
Jasmine,
of one of the lakes, the Great Lakes, maybe. That's all.
I don't think the Great Lakes are very great.
They're pretty pitiful for the name they have. Sorry, go ahead, Stowe.
Jasmine, if you check Twitch, I did post a link to the Discord if you want to join that.
Yeah, also Atropos, I don't think you're in the stream Discord. So if you want the link, let me know.
How come I'm not in the Discord? What the fuck?
Are we not even friends on Discord? Mama, okay. I'm gonna say this once.
I
Get
can
it?
give you all my sources.
Cole Owen _ That is my username on.
I don't add other people. Other people have to add me. I'm the hot commodity here.
Well, what's yours?
Corrupt cosplayer.
What cosplayer?
Corrupt cosplayer.
Corrupt cosplayer. Wait, maybe we are friends somewhere because that sounds familiar. But I'll figure it out. Well, make sure you're in the stream server. Same with Atropos if you would like.
Also,
Yeah.
hi, Stoat, you're cool.
What?
I was saying Stoat's cool.
He is.
Oh,
And Kay
That's
wants
not
to join the Discord.
nope, that's not it. Fucking, I'm. Don't.
Oh, don't click that one, I guess.
Oh.
But
That's
I
the
guess
Discord
we're
thing.
posting.
You have to copy.
Okay,
You'll have
the
to,
second
like,
one is correct.
take a screenshot and then copy that.
Nice.
But I'm just gonna invite you. Okay, friend.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm barely on Discord, but you know, I'll try and check in sometimes.
I'm gonna dip. I know you guys about to end the live. Oh, a screenshot. I'll do the joining later. Y'all have a good night. Stay cool.
You
Yeah.
Yeah, be a GC. Be the best GC you can be.
At least we're ending the night with a laugh.
Who's laughing?
You have to.
You gotta Google up this shit.
I don't know. I'm bored. I wanted to debate someone. I was hoping someone up here was a GC when it came
I
out.
wanted.
I don't know
to
any of
be
these kids.
someone. The way you worded that was just gooey.
Okay, I should clarify. I don't like debating necessarily. I just like making GCs look like the idiots they are.
Genuinely, like, entertaining.
Okay, I'm going to end live now. Thank you everybody for coming.
You're well.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Be the best, Stoat.
Y'all have a good
Sorry.
sleep.
I'm just gonna be
Yeah,
a
be
little
the best
weasel.
Stoat you can be.
I'm just a weasel.
I'm
Can I make
just
it any
gonna
more
be a little
obvious?
weasel.
No, you're a Stoat.
Yeah, stoats are weasels. How do you not fucking know this?
Weasels
And you've
are
been in my
weasels.
life how many times now and you don't know this? Oh my god. I
Stoats are
fucking
the
can't
weasel
even.
family, but they're not weasels.
Stoats are weasels, yes.
They are weasels, but they're
Don't-
not
don't-
just
don't-
weasels.
Don't
They're
even get me
also
started about this.
stoats.
The type species of weasels. Like, if there's this weasel, it's the fucking stoat. Don't challenge
Yeah.
my weasel knowledge. I'm the weasel knowledge king. This is my area of expertise.
I don't
Did
agree.
you mean if there's a stoat, it's a fucking weasel, not the other way around?
No, oh well, if there's a weasel, it's a stoat. Like, because weasel, for the type species of the genus of weasels, is the stoat.
Oh.
Wait.
I had it backwards.
So all,
See, now
all
I'm
weasels are
still learning.
Stoats, but not all Stoats are weasels.
All stoats are weasels, but not all weasels are stoats. Because there's, like, the least weasel, which I can think of, like, a dozen other things that are less of a weasel than the least weasel. But, on that bombshell, I think it's
Wait,
time to
now
end.
I'm confused.
And
I feel
you're
like
gonna
it just
remain
got
confused.
conflicting info.
So have a good night.
Yeah, I'm confused now too. I'm
Okay.
gonna
Okay,
weasel-
well, I
Don't
guess
you
we'll ask
weasel
later.
your way out of explaining this to us.
Oh!
Yeah, I am going to, unfortunately. Bye-bye.
We'll ask later.